picking up from last session, we all know how the fight went, so I'll just jump to the very end, wherein through the party's efforts, you were able to contact the sage Ashiera, who traveled through the spirit tree at the center of the sacred grove, and as she walked forward from the grove, asked, and I assume you are the Blight Walker, to Sunny. But as you see, stood before you. One second, I just need to make sure. Yeah, you see, stood before you this humanoid figure, probably about 6.5 feet tall or so, with very long, clearly elven ears, almost approaching like a fey quality, but you're not quite sure. Their face is obscured with a simple wooden mask with slits for eyes, and behind it, just this verdant, bright green glowing behind them. The hair, the sides of it is kind of cut almost like an undercut, and the center is kind of wound in a very large warrior braid that goes all across the back. And kind of their appearance, it's similar to the token I have on the screen, but it's very much just a mix of furs and like wooden armor. Not quite to the extent that the Archdruid had, but more so just bits of like bark and such that are kind of forming a loose but cohesive suit across her. But yes, you see before you the sage Ashiera. Sunny. She looks at you.
And so where is everybody standing in like relation to?
If you guys want
I'm
to put
next
your
to you.
tokens down, she just stepped straight out from the tree. I kind of imagined a semicircle with Artuk at the front and the rest of the party behind, and she kind of just walked a little bit, came out at a slightly wrong angle and walked towards Sunny, who was at one part of the semicircle.
Morang is on someone's back. He wants a piggyback ride, is what I'm trying to say.
Kezia's got you.
Okay, cool.
Sunny
I'll
just
just be-
kind of like, oh, good.
I'm just next to you. That's it.
Oh wait, sorry.
Not
let's get
important
this
at
correct,
all.
though. That's better.
What did she say again?
You
Who
are
knows that?
Walker, I assume. I think that was the basic gist. I can't remember the exact words. As
Sunny
she sips upon her Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Sunny takes his Sam Adams Alpine Lager.
Byron takes his coffee.
You know what they say about assume, and he kind of like points over towards he points over towards Artek.
Ah, that does make more sense. Walks over towards Artek.
I'm sorry.
Am
You know
I
what they
to
say about assume? Is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm. It makes an ass out of you and me.
As this conversation goes on, as she walks away between Sunny and Zeka in canon, am I to assume you are the Blight Walker? She says as if she didn't just say it a second ago.
Your second time's a charm, yeah. That's me.
Crisp.
Well, then I assume she kind of
This
looks
lady does
looks
an
you
awful
over.
lot of assuming. Sunny whispers to Zeka.
You are looking a great deal better than I imagined. He looks back over at Sunny. I hope you'll pardon the confusion, given the... Are you certain it isn't him? Are you?
Well,
Yeah.
you know what they say about.
Yeah, that happened as a result of the blight, but not because he
Oh,
has
thank
it.
God. I thought I was going crazy for a minute.
No, that is the blight. It's just most of it's in me, and the rest of it's out of him.
Well, she's distracted, laughing, and choking on her beer. Brian's gonna pull out a little bit of cologne.
You don't even
Walk
see
through
her face. You do not see her face at all.
Byron
you just
pulls.
see she's a 6.5-foot tall woman with braided hair. That's all
It's a
you
whole
have.
lot of woman.
Oh my
Byron
God.
pulls out a little thing of cologne and shoots a shot down the front of his pants.
He unscrews it and drinks it.
And he's like,
But yes, I assume you have a number of questions for me. And you know what they say about assumptions.
Makes an ass out of ump and chins. No,
You are truly wise beyond years.
I think Confucius said that.
Who?
Anyway,
yeah, I've sought you out after. I think we've been talking for a little while, or at least you've been trying to reach me for a little while, and leading me here. I've tried everything I can to deal with this blight in every way I can think to deal with it, and it hasn't worked. Plainly and simply, I've hurt a lot of people and a lot of things trying to, and I feel like I've learned a lot from having to deal with it, but I'd rather be rid of it if I can. And like you might be the one who knows how to do that.
I have a way that has some chance of success. Far from certain, though I can't imagine you expected much more than that. She kind of looks around. One moment, let us make ourselves more comfortable. She just kind of raises her hands, and you see like the roots of the plants kind of like coalesce and erupt from the ground and form almost like this, almost like a sitting area where there are like eight seats and a small like table in the middle. You see literally like a tree stump just emerges from the ground, and with it, a little wooden teapot sits at the center.
I look at Sunny and I say, look, Sunny, there are seats for you and me asses.
Lowers one of the seats.
I assume
I try
these
to
are
sit and I
our
fall on the ground.
seats?
I'm gonna have to avoid that word like a fucking landmine now. Did not realize how often I said it.
I don't think Sunny's gonna sit down.
But yes, let us take a moment. You all seem particularly winded. Looks at Sunny once again. Some more than others.
It was a bit more arduous than expected to get in here, but we made it.
Then that is all that we could have hoped for. But yes, I know of a. I've devised a form of way to tackle at your conditions. Looks again, but can you two just sit next to each other? I keep side glancing over towards him, and then he's over there next to the small Fey touched boy, and I just can't. It's throwing me off something fierce.
Oh, leans
Sorry,
over
what?
to Morak and she says, she's a bit of a control freak.
I
I dig it.
What? Real?
Both
Wait.
Odes and Morak and Byron are all on the other side of the.
I think we'll just let the other two, let Sunny and Artak deal with this.
Wait,
Because
can you-
I'm somewhat confused.
Can you rewind a bit?
Oh yeah, that's true. I shouldn't be confused.
Can you rewind a bit?
yes.
What did you say? The next to the who boy?
The you boy, you boy.
Yeah, but you called me a thing. What did you
Yes,
say?
Fey touched. Look at your.
What does that mean?
Touched by the Fey.
Show us on the doll where the Fae touched you.
Yeah, who is that?
Relating to the Feywild.
The fact that were bugging us and like everyone went into a trance a couple days ago, yesterday.
Oh, so we're all Fey touched, yeah?
Nope, you. I cannot stress that enough, but okay. We can I'm sorry. But before we continue down this rabbit hole, which I assume will go a very long way, can we return to the issue of the blight for just a moment?
I'm sorry.
That man is decaying. His skin's
Oh.
turned to metal, for God's sake.
Oh no, that's normal.
That matters a lot more.
Oh, thank God! I
Say
thought
it's
he had.
more
I
important
thought
to
he had
start
iron
with our
armor.
names. I'm Ode. This is Mora.
I'm Morak, and this is out.
Then this is Kezia.
Yes.
And this one's Byron.
Yes.
Hello
Yes.
there.
And that one is Autuk. That one's Zeka. Don't confuse them. Even though you might want to sometimes. And that one's Sunny.
What about this one? Points at the second ode.
Oh, sorry. And then Ode makes her mirror image disappear.
Ah, sorry. Thought you had a twin or something.
Both.
A little trick she picked up
Dude,
from
what's
evolution.
Ah, that happens. But yes, in the manner of this ritual, well, what? But before we get into the, I feel as though you have come quite a long way. I assume you have some questions, and I believe I can offer some answers in regards to some of them. We can get to the nature of the ritual, but it may make a little more sense if you have a better understanding as a whole.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if, I assume you know a lot more than I do about this whole thing. I don't know, despite having lived with it for a year and a half now, what the blight is, where the blight came from, why the blight decided to inhabit me. Did I do
Going on
something?
with the adventurer who also seemed to have some encounters with the blight.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
more so Artuk, but I feel like he's connected.
Yeah, it's I've heard history of lots of folks who've had it. I know that it's persisted for a long time and had multiple hosts throughout time, but I have no idea why it chooses who it chooses or if it chooses or it's random. I don't know where it comes from and if it's a part of a big whole, if it has a use or an importance in some way, or if it's just a curse or a blight on the world. Um, I really don't know much about it aside from what it's done.
I assume you might be able to shed some light on this?
That was the hope.
And there's also another Blightwalker that we got in contact with, and he seems like really out of it. He's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And like,
I'm sorry, you've had contact with another one? I'm sorry, could you? Who, when, what did they say, how? Go into down the line with that, please, if you would. If you would,
Oh.
small boy who was touched by Fae as a child.
again, we're not going to cover that right now. I get that this isn't my scene. But what? Hey, what was that fool's name again?
Wanderer? Gideon the Traveler or something like that?
Yes, Gideon the Traveler. The Gideon the Traveler. I sent him a message, and we get 25 words, right? And I was like, "Hey, yo, Gideon, I heard that you used to have the blight. One of my friends, Artuk, also has the blight. And did you manage to get rid of it? What's the deal there?" And he was like, "I don't want it. I don't want it. The blight's so bad." Blah. He just said the same thing like over and over again. And it was like very clear that he didn't really acknowledge what I had said. He was just saying it over and over again. So I don't know if maybe he got rid of it and this is the way he's like keeping it away from him or what, but like it was very difficult to glean like anything from what he was saying. But the
As an
gist of it
addendum,
was that sorry,
sorry, I was gonna say, as an addendum to your story as well, Zeka, we knew that he had some connection with the blight, like he had studied it and sought it out, but we never actually, I think, confirmed that he had it himself.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah. Well, so we did that. So maybe he doesn't have it. I don't know.
You all see. I'm not going to make a roll for this. You all see, as you say, Gideon, as you kind of relay it, Shira's form immediately, like, depresses, like, very, very visibly. Yes, Gideon, I knew of him. I spoke with him, and I attempted to help him with his particular journey as the blight had affected it. He was not himself a blight walker. though one that he cared for quite deeply was. And in his journey to attempt to save them, in oh so many words, he himself succumbed to it. And see, she kind of like is just having difficulty. And the final act in that story was facilitated by me. The the ritual that I performed, as I said, it was not without risk, or it is not without risk. And Gideon's journey was the first attempt using it, and it was not successful. Gideon is trapped in the land of the Everrot, the Blight's home, its own plane of existence. Those cursed by the Blight nods over at the two of them. Death is not a release for them. They exist in perpetuity in this land, in this eternity of rot and decay, and they find their souls used as fuel to feed this beast. Not the Blight Walker, but the Blight itself. It is rot and decay incarnate. And you may wish to free yourself insofar as your mantle as a Blight Walker, but I will warn you now. You cannot kill the Blight any more than you can kill death itself. You can delay it, you can push on past it, and you may free yourselves from its touch in your life, but you cannot kill it in and of itself. The best you can do is hope to outlast it.
Is it, if I were to rid myself of the blight, would it move to another? Does it exist in more than one, or is it just me and the people I've touched?
It will exist eventually, is perhaps the best way to phrase it.
Mm.
You are not. It's not as though it's not an illness. It's not as though you were to. She puts out her hand. If you were to touch me and the blight were to leave you and would come into me, you can. It's it's a manifestation of rot, and to manifest that power, just with any other powerful being, takes time to accumulate that. Perhaps 50, 100, perhaps 100, even 1,000 years may pass before it were to leave again, before it were to appear again. But the the Blight Walker itself, it is something created each time anew. If you were to be snuffed out, or killed, or put away, or sealed, or even succumb to it, the Blight Walker that comes next is unique. It is a new hell created fresh for whatever unfortunate soul it comes to bear.
Is this manifestation of this blight just a negative impact, always going to hurt the balance that comes around it? Is it always going to just damage the world because this beast is trying to be released?
It
Would
will
the world
certainly affect the balance. The material plane as it stands is in constant flux between the forces around it. The elemental chaos attempts to bleed in, and other opposing forces will attempt to force it out. The blight will attempt to bleed in, but Bloom will attempt to overgrow it. But if Bloom were to come in, blight, so on and so forth.
bloom?
Blight is not in and of itself evil through its nature, but the Blight Walker is attempting to manifest itself from a different reality and impose its will onto ours. It's
Ye-
much the same as if, for much the same reason that we would oppose an army of devils coming through reality. we would oppose this. It's
You
not in and of itself evil, but its influence must be blocked immediately.
Devils are definitely inherently evil. They're
Sorry,
evil.
devils was
all the
perhaps
time.
a poor
I
example.
read it in a book once.
Yeah, I'm reading about that in my free time.
Yeah, there's a bunch of books, and they say devils are all evil.
Yeah, the screw tape scrolls. Yes.
Apologies, I'm not well read. I live in the woods. I
Oh, no.
live.
I didn't mean
better
to correct a
example-
nature goddess spirit. My bad.
Thank you.
See,
thank
this is
you.
what happens, Ode, when
Not a
you
goddess, not a goddess.
assume somebody reads as much as you
You
do.
are the main.
Is as a better example, it would be. What do you know of the forces of order and of chaos? There are
Not
pretty
Oh
much.
God.
More than we'd care to.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Oh, order. Yes. Okay. Well, in much the same way that chaos is not inherently evil, as it attempts to enter our world, we must push it back. Much the same way of the manifestation of order, we have to push it back because our reality is dependent on having all of these influences essentially neutralize one another. And as one gains strength, we must push it back. As one weakens, we must help it grow, keeping the balance in all ways.
A question then. I guess kind of two questions in one. Is the fact that I'm here channeling the blight as a blight walker an indication that the blight is pushing out of balance right now? And like order is there to balance chaos, what's there to balance blight?
Bloom, in a word.
Is
As you
this
see, she actually removes her mask, and you see like all across her skin, like just this different, like very literally, like flowers and like living things, kind of just involved within her. You see like wood and parts of her skin, and it just kind of transitions between like wood, stone, just all this manner of natural flora and life.
A vision of like her eye is being made of like bugs crawling around.
I like that a lot, actually. Absolutely. Very inspiration.
But like the good, like iridescent beetle bugs.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the great movie Ants.
Wait
So
a
creepy.
minute. This isn't
Not
a
like
lady.
Oogie
This
Boogie.
is 10 million ants together in a bark suit. You and I are not so different, my lady.
But yes, bloom, in a word, and its influence manifests itself in myself.
so okay? This is interesting. And is Bloom like blight, its own creature, beast thing, and its entity in its own plane? It's manifesting through someone into this one to try to push in.
Yes.
Does that
All
make
powerful beings attempt to do so. In ancient times, millennia ago, the Avatar of Chaos was known as the. Its name is escaping me at this time. Essentially, they would act as. I'll remember it later. But any powerful entity, as it attempts to encroach upon the material plane, it will encroach first in the form of an avatar, acting essentially as the herald of its arrival. I really truly wish I could remember the name of the one for chaos. God, that would be so convenient.
Yeah, it sure would, wouldn't it?
God. Anyway, but yes, with the elemental chaos, the Jinn who rule the fire plane would send their exemplar of fire, and likewise the same for the rest. Mechanus, the Hells, the Heavens, all of them. The first step to their entrance into our reality always must take the form of one exceptionally powerful and imbued individual, so that they may, in essence, open the gate for the lesser powerful ones. You points at Sunny.
So, this might be a stupid question, but do we have one of these powerful beings for here for us in
It's,
this
it's a
world?
complicated question because we only see it in the sense of if we view the prime material as at the center of everything. So there
Which
may
we do.
well.
Because
What was
it
that?
is.
Which we do. The prime material plane is at the center of everything.
Yeah, it's the one that matters.
Okay, you see, this is what makes these kinds of discussions difficult, is fucking material centrist views like this.
What
But
if, I mean, I'm just saying, perhaps it was like some sort of emperor or something
the-
like that.
there is, well,
Oh, shit.
before we get a little too far down that particular road, it can happen, but only in the sense of if our influence is attempting to bleed into another reality. Um,
So
the
if
best
we were
example I
taking
could
over
give
somewhere else.
would be, I mean, frankly, the prime material is formed almost as the average of all these different realities: heavens, hells, order, chaos, the elements, the astral plane. All of these inform how our reality functions. And our world, unlike many others, is so divided and not owned or controlled by any one singular entity in much the same way that many other realities are. So the power cannot coalesce. Oftentimes, it's left up to just petty adventurers to solve these issues, but in that case, it's just divided into parties of somewhere between 3 and 8 amounts of people. This has happened countless times throughout history, wherein these crises are divided among these somewhere between 3 and 8 heroes.
So what you're almost saying is, in essence, that perhaps isn't a single scion of the material plane, but perhaps it's much like the material plane itself, coalesced and created of groups of people with differing stories and backstories and skills, and they represent in an almost supernatural way at times a microcosm of what is the prime material plane.
Oh,
Yes,
see,
that's
I was thinking it was just like the most average possible person in the entire world. That
Oh,
would be
like
the
what?
scion of the material plane.
What?
Like who?
Like more.
No, my body fat percentage is in the 90th percentile.
You're both
No.
actually largely correct. Hold on. She pulls out a book called Idiocracy and hands it to Byron.
I thought you
What?
could read.
Knew it.
What are we? Some kind of scion squad?
I was
Alright,
trying
that's
to
a
find a
session.
way. Will take the inspiration.
Thank you.
That is to say, Adam, apply it to his character sheet, please.
Sure.
But
Hey,
yes,
I have a question for you, Ashira, and it's that you are saying you're the physical manifestation and the avatar of this bloom entity. So is it then your goal to have the blight entity be out of the material plane? In that we want it to be out of Artuk?
I
That
never
does seem like a conflict of interest.
I didn't choose this path, and if I could expel the bloom from me, I would do so in much the same way that I would for Artuk. I have lived for 10 millennia, and I have seen every person I care about wither and die, and with this bloom, my brain, my mind, all parts of me never decay. So I have a perfect recollection of every day I spent with them and every day I sit in their absence. This is a different level of hell, and one that I would readily give up. So you are correct that in some ways, expelling this from him perhaps is a conflict of interest, but I would prefer you not confuse it with a desire to see my particular curse win out. I would happily
No,
give
that's sorry, that's not what I was asking. It seems like you're aligned with us in the goal to get rid of the blight out of Artuk. That's what I was saying.
yes, I
And
explicitly.
but I want to also make sure you're aligned with us on the goal of getting the blight out of Artuk without hurting Artuk, if possible.
Yes.
Any ritual I perform for him, I will explain the risks of it clearly, and it will be up to you all. I'm not going to force this out. I'm not going to run at him like a madman with a knife and start cutting blight out.
No. Hey, David, I want to insight check that.
Go ahead.
Oh, she is. Actually, all the bugs in her eyes are going to come out and just eat all the
22.
light out.
There's specialized little maggots that only
As
eat
you look
light.
it over, you see she seems remarkably candid about it. Maybe there is a part that maybe she's like, I will not just run and try to stab the blight out of him. Maybe that was an attempt once upon in her 10,000 years of cursed existence. But she seems candid in saying she's not just going to run after Artug and try to murder him.
Okay.
I
Sunny's gonna like kind of while she was talking to Ode, Sunny's gonna kind of like subtly lean over to Zeka and say, kind of under his breath, of course, it seems like if she's diametrically opposed to the blight, of course she's gonna want to try to get rid of it.
Yes.
But with what she just said, wouldn't that itself put things out of balance? Wouldn't we
That's
also
what
have
I
to get rid of her too?
I was literally like, wow, you and I like fucking same wavelength, dog. Like I was literally that was the question I was about to ask.
Make a stealth check for me.
Um,
Uh,
Adam, could you?
yeah, and I'm also gonna roll perception in case I'm next to them,
Nine.
and I
Oh,
was thinking a
God.
similar thing. For Zeka, the stealth
The
is
stealth is for when he said, "Oh, we're on the same wavelength, dog." They dabbed up and to see if it was a quiet dab or not.
he does disadvantage because of heavy armor. I guess this wouldn't really apply
Does
to
that,
the heavy
yeah,
armor,
does that
but
apply?
regardless, your first roll was the bad
clink,
one, so
clink, clink, clink. Hi.
13.
Yeah,
13
when
for
you're
Zeka.
dabbing, that's like a lot of clinking.
Yeah, and you're clinking against some metal hands. Of course, it's gonna be loud.
So 13 and 9 between the two of them.
Ashira closes her bug eyes, or rather, the flies flitter away for a moment, and she just kind of looks up.
I
Ashiera,
love that. Oh, like the flies like turn and morph on the back of her head. So she's
Yes,
like,
100%. Hell yeah.
Pretty
he-
good.
Ashiera, they make a good point. I asked this,
Eavesdrop much?
I mean, y'all aren't being quiet.
I did say that at full volume.
She raises up her hand, and you see emerging from it, you see this just this gnarled like oak and bramble like branch, probably like a foot or so long, and to a very fine sharpness. If you all would need to get rid of me, she slams it over where her heart would be and just does not react, and it like goes fully through. I would welcome it. And you see it's like the brambles and the wood just kind of immediately begin to dissipate, or rather get absorbed back in, and you see like brambles kind of begin to kind of coalesce and appear along her neck and along her like arm, almost like kind of along the lanes where veins would form.
I ask specifically not because I get it. You can't be taken down. The bloom will be here, and you wish you could, but can't get rid of it. But I've learned along this whole run, this whole dealing with the blight, that that I was wrong when I set out of these woods originally, thinking that certain things were sacred and the other things were evil, and it's black and it's white, and there's nothing in between. And that it's important to have both the black and the white to make the gray that we live in. And you just said basically the same thing, that that's why the prime material is special, is that we have the opposing forces inequality that give us this neutral state that allows us to be unique. I want to be rid of this blight more than anything. I hate the fact that this is here and has more control than I do and can hurt things that I care about. But I understand after all of this how important it is that balancing forces stay balanced. And it seems to me like the fact that I'm a blight walker balances the fact that you're a bloom walker. And if I were to rid myself of this without both of us being rid of what we've got, there'd be an imbalance again. As it stands, there is a balance. I don't think a solution where we defeat one or the other or purge one or the other for this iteration is going to better the world necessarily. And I don't know if I want to pursue that.
So, with that in mind, I just had a thought. So you're both essentially the manifestations, correct? You are both equally
Yes.
empowered by the bloom and the blight, and they are diametrically opposed, and they essentially cancel each other out, right? Let's just say,
I'm
you know,
not fucking him and having a child. All right, it's not.
Yes,
no,
happening.
no, because that's
You
a
guys
regular
gotta
person.
You guys
No,
just
no,
got
no,
the
no, no.
kids.
What I'm saying is, Ashura, that's your name, correct?
Ashiera.
Ashura, close enough. Look, you have bug eyes. I'm sorry, it freaked me out.
The fucking scarab starts swarming Byron.
Oh fuck. Okay, no, let me speak my case. So you want to die, correct? But nothing can kill you. What if you absorbed the blight out of Artak? Essentially, having I have 5 slots and I've got 5 apples. Put them together, it's a net neutral.
Or
I considered this.
I
Where did the apples go?
I have a thought there also,
I'll see
Yes.
if he makes it
if
the
I
point
may.
for me.
Sorry, what'd you say, David?
I'll see if he makes the point for me, but go ahead.
So Ashiera just proved the point that she essentially has like infinite regenerative properties, right? And the blight has an infinite desire for hunger and like devouring life as we see it. Wouldn't that like cause this infinite recursion of just constant regeneration and constant devouring, making some, I don't even know, like super organism or something?
Well, no, the superorganism would constantly be devouring itself.
I
Well, what's
guess
positive infinity minus
You
negative?
assume.
But the
May I
blight
tell
gets
you how I
bigger.
see this going? The blight, as I said, does not finish you off. You are spending eternity consumed by it, never quite finished. So, what you're describing is me having the pain of constantly regrowing while constantly being eaten. It won't come out to a neutral negative, it will just be double hell.
Hmm.
well, that's because you are. Let me think about this for a sec before I totally say what I'm about to say. That would
Well,
happen. That would happen because you're constant. You are the bloom. You are always regenerating, and it would be attacking you constantly. For me, my problem is that I'm always decaying. So you absorbing the blight would constantly hurt you. But for me, my problem is that I'm constantly decaying away. So I know it seems like the same thing to combine one way or the other, but what if I took the bloom from you? That would solve the fact that I'm constantly decaying by constantly regenerating me. It wouldn't be constantly attacking you like you are right now. It's sort of the inverse of the scenario. It would hurt you because you're constantly healing up right now, and it would start attacking you. The other way around, I'm decaying away, and it would constantly heal me back.
oh, and you could pass it on to someone else when you're like done with that too.
If
Yeah,
there's a way to,
what Ashira described is that it's actually a horrific, hellish experience to have both within the same person.
Thank you, Ode. Thank you.
yeah,
I'm
I
just gonna
mean,
lean over to Odin and just go, yeah, but she kind of seems like a downer, Like maybe it's not that
He's
bad.
pretty negative about it.
Okay, that's it. She fucking smacks Byron. Byron, make a wisdom saving throw.
Damn.
10.
Byron loves to piss off powerful entities, huh?
It's his kink.
Byron,
It,
in the span of about half a second, you experience 10 years of her life and all the loss she's aware of. I'm sick of this shit. You are immediately back, but kind of like the fucking Rick and Morty episode where you're in the fucking life of whatever his name is. It takes a second before you're like, wait, where was everything?
Where's my wife? My kids?
Byron, are you okay?
All right. I'll stop being a dick.
That's your reaction.
In the hearts of hearts, the true
mean-
self emerges.
Whatever it takes. I mean, if it was
Ashiera.
just getting smacked, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, none of us have any concept of what just happened,
You just
except
saw
for that he
him
got
get
smacked.
have a mild breakdown, and then recover remarkably fast.
Um,
I have a question. If there's a if each of the planes or whatever has some sort of scion here in the material plane, and that's him, points to Artuk, then what's the deal with me?
She kind of reaches her hand. May I for a moment?
Sure. I assume this isn't going to be incredibly painful or teleport me back 10 years and live through, I don't know, 10 years of your agony or anything, but
Well, that would be ridiculous. Who would have that happen to them?
You got a 1%. You got 1% of her fucking life. Anyway, she kind of taps her finger against Sunny, and you see like the blight immediately does actually react and try to like swarm up her finger, but you immediately see just this like burning fire begin to erupt around where it tries to spread onto. And you see her just kind of mumming, like it almost sounds like Catholic hymns for just a second, or almost like that kind of Latin like Latin throat singing, like in very old cathedrals.
Gregorian chant.
Yes, thank you, that was the word. As she pulls her hand away, well, you two are marked by the blight, yes, but not in quite the same way as him. Whereas he is made to be the avatar. His role is to be though affected, empowered by it, to act as the first one through the gate, the vanguard. To put it rather succinctly, one second. To put it rather succinctly, he is hungry, and you are the food. You are what is consumed. You, even now, are still affected and addled by it. And I do apologize, but when you die, you will not be free.
What? Why can't you just do a ritual on him and save him?
I can certainly expel the blight from him. He is not nearly as ingrained in it as your friend Artuk. However, I can give you with absolute certainty that doing so would kill him.
And this place, the Everrot, I think you called it.
Yes.
What does that look like?
The beetles reform, and you see just the the eye sockets darken. It is rot and decay brought home. In death, in rot, in suffering, and in misery, you will find eternity within there. And those unfortunate enough to cross into it themselves without sufficient protection will find their eternity consumed by it. It is not the end. It is not the beginning. It is just eternity of stagnation. Sorry. Had that one queued up a few millennia ago and couldn't find a place to use it.
No, that's good. It's important to have hobbies. Does this seem familiar to Sunny?
Very, very, like 1-to-1.
Hmm.
Again, I will stress, with him, his binding to this place is not nearly as permanent. I can break him free from it, but the blight is infused within you, and what remains of you will not be enough for you to survive.
What if I'm healing him while you do it?
What he lacks, it's not a simple mortal wound. He is bound to another plane of existence in part, and breaking that bond is taxing on him on a spiritual, on a physical, on a mental level. Physical healing, we can have him on a IV for potions of healing, and it wouldn't make a difference. His spirit itself will not survive. Yes, I have this brand new invention. Hold on. You see a bunch of tree roots that are like suspended
It's like
into her back. She turns around. It's
hooked
like
up to
fucking
like a big
Bane.
like bug, like a big like sack of fluid and tubes coming out of it.
It's like Bane from Arkham Asylum.
Well, and Sunny Sunny kind of comments under his breath. I guess not even Delphanus brand motor oil is getting me out of this one. So what if, I mean, and I'm just spitballing here. It sounds like existence here for you isn't great, and existence here with the blight here on the prime material isn't great, but both are necessary in the current state of things. So what if neither of those existed here on the prime material plane? I mean, maybe not in the sense that they don't exist at all, but what if you go back to the bloom and somehow we send the blight back to the Everrealm? That way, neither are out of balance here, and they're both gone.
If you banish, supposing you are able to banish the blight and the bloom, which there is a manner of doing it for both, in fact, it's just rather difficult. There is nothing to stop them, centuries, millennia down the line, manifesting again. That is the issue with it. Now,
Well, but we can at least do something for where we are right now.
and if
Solve the
you
problem for you two.
with that, I am willing. I am willing to assist you in helping him. I would not wish this existence on anyone else, though, for me. So unless there is a permanent solution that will cease it from ever manifesting again, I'd prefer to bear my curse.
Well,
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
If you, I'm very sorry that you've had to experience this for so long. What if the worry is that he's going to die, but Bloom infinitely regenerates? What if you made him the next Bloom Walker? What if you gave it to him, and then you could rest? You could die.
I will
And then-
not force this hell onto anyone else.
Sure.
You could ask him if he wants it.
I don't care whether he wants it. I wanted it once upon a time, and here I am now. Whoever
Right.
You all seem to have a small misunderstanding of this. You think of time in a very linear sense, where perhaps a year, 10 years is an exceptionally long time. That is a pittance. You think of throughout the day the highlights, the moments, the parts that are memorable. I remember every moment of it. I remember a time scale beyond all of you with absolute perfect clarity, and I remember every part of it that I treasured that was destroyed. My families that were killed, my loves taken by disease, war, or just turned to simple ash. This curse is not something that you can earnestly and honestly give to anyone. And that I was given this before was, to my mind, the greatest crime in all of history.
Um,
You
Ashira, uh, forgive me, and a thousand pardons here if I'm being exceptionally presumptuous in saying this, but I think that in the grand scheme of things, your curse and my curse are of the same nature and by all means ought to be thought of as impactful, the same impact of curse. And I think it asinine almost to see you here feeling this way about yours and ask for you to let mine go on to the next person the same way. My year and a half of dealing with this is a blink of the eye in the centuries that you've dealt with yours. But even in that blink, the pain that I've felt isn't something I'd wish on to anybody. And I've at least been able to thus far, better I think than anybody in history, from what I've heard, hang on to myself in the face of this. And I wouldn't expect the next person along the line to necessarily even have that pleasure. Um, I know it's perhaps not even comparable to what you've gone through, but I feel the same way you do. I don't want the next person down the line just to have to deal with this. I would ask your wisdom in your centuries of experience with this constant struggle in trying to think of how you and I can work together in some way to mitigate how much pain has to ever be brought to anybody but us from these. And as a secondary goal, mitigate how much is brought to us.
I believe he is very excited about something. I can see in his face
you
bright.
see a little light bulb bing, ding, bing, pop up on Sunny's head. So the issue is not that there is fear of this becoming unbalanced so much as it is the terrible hell of an existence that it is existing with this curse while it is balanced.
I mean, both suck.
But is it what if there was someone or something who deserved it?
Mm.
What if there was someone or something, some entity that was not from here, that was not from the material plane? Something that wished to do damage and disrupt this material plane, but not in a way from the other planes, but outside of them, perhaps. Something completely foreign and malevolent itself. What if we could take the bloom and the blight and use it as a weapon against that and use that as a prison for the bloom and the blight?
I would
This feels like
love
the creation story of the void.
I would love to hear what could be so evil to deserve 2 eternities of hell.
Byron hides behind Morak.
Have you ever heard
Him,
of
you're right.
elephants?
Give it to him, Panther. Give it to him. Hold him.
You were
Well,
saying, Sonny?
all I know is that there exists a race of creatures that are not from here. And although our interactions with them have been not extensive, our knowledge of them, well, basically 100% of what we know is that they mean no well to us or to anyone, and they are a threat, ancient and deadly. Their entire existence is focused on slavery and consumption, as far as I can tell.
Well, yeah, we in the brief interactions we've had, they've made it very clear they want to come to this plane and our world and destroy most of it and enslave anything that survives being destroyed.
And if
Yep.
they would do that to this plane, certainly their ambitions would not stop there.
I'm sure that about 30 years ago, you remember when everything was kind of run amok, magic-wise. They're the reasoning.
I was going through a bit of a hookah phase at that point, so that entire time's a bit of a blur.
Okay, so that probably
Don't.
that probably is why. No,
What?
but yes, they're the reasoning for magic being all wonky
I mean,
here.
we know that they've done it to other worlds. They had dozens of species
Yes,
trapped away.
Kith, Crip, and Keith and Kevin all had problems with it.
And that poor box.
Whatever their names were.
This is true. We've met lots of people who've had that fate at their expense.
If an eternity well, it seems, in my mind, perhaps a justifiable punishment for seeking to bring this to every species in every plane. I mean,
And Lord knows Ashiera and Artuk have both approached being these avatars with the best of intentions, and their intentions don't really appear to matter in terms of what the Blights and the Bloom want to do. So one could probably presume that even if you trapped the Blight in something that meant to use it with ill intent, they would have no more success than Artuk attempting to use the Blight with good intent.
Yeah.
um,
Counterpoint to that, he has been successful in using it for a good intent, though. Like it has been bad, but like objectively, Artuk is one of the most powerful people I've ever met in my life, and a lot of the abilities that he uses are like very blight infused. Like I don't know if I fully agree with that actually.
But
well,
I will say, kind of going off of what Ashiera was saying, it'd be a constant living hell. It's double hells. If you're doubly damned, I'm not sure you're really going to be like have the wavelength, like the bandwidth to really do much more. And Sonny, kind of building off what you were saying, if I remember correctly, didn't we wasn't there like a big fucking brain or something for those things? And we killed it, and then a bunch of other shit around it died.
yeah.
What? And I might be getting real out of bounds here. Please don't slap me. What if there's one like mega super ultra brain that controls all of them, and we load that bitch up with both of them?
I mean, to Sonny's point, yeah, infinity of damage, perhaps not to be met with an eternity of punishment.
Perhaps the only punishment fitting for the crime. And Sonny's gonna say, but I do realize that we are just one of these groups of people. I don't want to assume that you'll take our word for it. Helper?
Help! 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 Help!
Oh.
Help! Hello! 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 Hello!
Control Alt Delete. Select.
Ah!
No. Not in task. Select
Hello.
repeating tasks.
Hello, my name is Helper, diagnostic virtual intelligence for the Grand Empire of Sylvanas. Current associate of Series 0 Number 1. Franchise owner of the third largest Denny's in the region.
Shh. I don't know what she's saying. Anyway, news to me.
Fourth largest.
No, damn.
Up back third.
Helper,
Yes.
can you? Helper, this is Ashiera. It's complicated. Can you
Hello.
relay the information that you recorded on the illithids?
Thank you. Have a good one.
You see Ashira's like, one moment. If you'll recall what I did just a second ago with this. Kind of walks over.
But
Would all of
Sunny's
you
gonna
actually
say
just kind of gather around?
right
Yeah,
before
sure.
she does this, Sunny's gonna say, "Well, no, Helper's not an actual physical thing. Surely this won't."
She grabs your head, Sonny. All of your memory, and you feel like this burning sensation on your forehead, like a very visceral heat begin to form. For a second, you're like, wait, is she fucking attacking me with like a lava hand or something? But as you do, your muscles slacken, and just all the memories you have of just Fort Kingston with the Elder Brain. You weren't actually there at the underwater part, so you don't know about that one. But Fort Kingston with the Elder Brain, didactic refrain, going through the Illithids, going through the Forsaken Wastes, and ultimately encountering the Nautiloid with the warning from the actual Illithids, and the warning that, in so many words, said, "We're coming to get you." In particular, we're coming after Morak. Going down the line, going to Artuk, Byron, Morak, Zeka, Ode, Kezia, I guess. Bailey twice, actually. Got a lot of details there. But going down the line, just the different memories of this all surge into your guys' mind for just a moment. And Ashiera takes a step back from all of you. Well, that's rather damning for them.
Everybody's just kind of shrugging and going around the circle.
If I can speak honestly, based on what you have told me, it is true that this seems like an entirely malevolent entity that could only serve to throw off the balance through their conquest. However, bestowing our particular curses is, well, it's not really useful if we just put it on one squid, now is it?
No, that's where the Super Mega Ultra Brain comes in.
You don't know that exists.
You don't
But
know
it
it doesn't.
would.
Well,
Can you confirm it in any way?
We've
I-
seen big brains already. We
Yeah.
know that in some form, big brains that are connected to the illithid and they're.
It-
I
it's
can
kind of
make
like
you.
it's kind of like a pyramid scheme.
How many?
Oh,
I could
reverse.
ask Mistra.
Hold on, how many? We've seen 2 brains or just 1?
2.
No,
Two.
1. You only have seen one Elder Brain.
Okay, Sunny
No, we
turns
saw
away.
a different, very
You
large
saw brain computers a few times, but you've only seen one Elder Brain, which is the one
Sure.
that Byron is referring to. It was in Fort Kingston, and when you killed it, the mountain blew up.
Sunny turns to Zeka and quietly says under his breath, "Shit, we've only seen 1. I can't extrapolate data from that 1 data point. If
I
we had
can.
another one, I could make a line."
So
Well,
okay,
I could ask Mistra. I can divinate.
Did we change how her name is pronounced?
Miss
It's
Tara,
always been
sorry.
Mistra.
We've always been at war with Eurasia.
There is no.
Well, no,
But-
guys, I don't know if we need to infect the super awesome Mega Brain.
Well, I never
Because-
said awesome. It's not awesome. It's fucked.
Well, I mean, I feel like it was
It
implied.
like awe isn't like the
It
you know
was
the
it's
way
a
that-
bunch
Oh.
of when you
The
see
word you're
it,
looking
you have
for is
some awe
awful.
to it. But basically, have we confirmed if they're like a hive mind type of thing yet? I think they are. I forget.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say it, I think that was some of the information that Chris had imparted to us with his
Yeah!
race hunting the illithid.
Yeah,
It's his
yeah,
story.
because they all think the same way. So it's like if one knows something, all of them know it. So it's like I feel like if we infect one of their brains, all of them will be infected with it.
Or if we infect an elder brain, it might infect all of them as well.
Yeah, so could we like put I don't know, how do you infect someone with a curse?
Well, that's where Ashiera might know a ritual.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to talk more like you. That's where Ashiera might know a ritual.
Yes.
So you were starting to speak on this idea, Ashiera.
What is that noise? What is that muffled noise that keeps happening?
Wow, she is such a control freak.
God. Okay, seriously, what is that noise? It's gonna keep throwing me
It
off.
looks like it's coming from Adam.
Oh, there's something banging upstairs. It's probably just loud enough.
Alright, it's fine. I was just confused.
We should have bought that nuke at that store a few weeks back. This would have been very helpful.
Well, but wait, Ashiera. Since this plan at least 50% relies on you, maybe 100% relies on you helping us.
Well, it's kind of a situation of like I held half the keys, but if you only have one key, it's worthless. So
We do have a
Also, you hold
pretty
100%
good...
of the ritual knowledge, so we are very much in your hands.
You have all the keys.
You have all the keys.
And you
no,
also have the house, I think.
Anyway,
subleased it. Anyway,
You took out a sublease. You have been living 10,000 years and you didn't just purchase? That seems a bit like an oversight.
my credit score wasn't good enough. They only invented them like 1,000 years ago, and
yeah,
frankly, I was lazy.
a total scam. We feel ya. You see, we're really all on the same side here, isn't that right, Sonny?
That's right. I definitely don't have investments on the bank side. I'm strictly in the Denny's business.
You were supposed to answer a question.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
I'd like to take this moment to call back to a joke that I didn't make because it was in a very serious part. But when you said, sure, when our eyes reformed, you said the Beatles reformed, I was about to say, Ringo! John, you're back!
That was worth retreading.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you had a question, one of you.
I mean, I
Is
think we were.
this-
No, you were. That was you. Yeah, you were the one.
Yeah. Is this... If this is possible, are you willing to try?
Make a persuasion check, Sonny.
No.
I'll roll.
I mean,
Sonny's good at those.
Boom, 18. What if I sweeten the deal with a 10% off card to the third largest Denny's?
Helper pops up fifth.
Okay, never mind. It's off the table. It's not even worth it.
Ashiera looks at you, Sonny. I would need to see them to be sure. I'm tired. I am beyond tired. I'm exhausted. I am drained and I am done. I would happily give up this curse if I knew that it wouldn't pass on, or in the next best case scenario, that it is one who truly does deserve it. So, The issue then becomes, where are they? Are they here? Why are you looking up? Oh, that is a
Oh,
nice bird. Okay, sorry. I understand
Uh,
completely.
There, so he's obviously looking around, like hoping for some really dramatic timing. They're on their way.
Then I suppose it depends on when they arrive. I
Well,
know I'll be here when they arrive. Will the rest of you?
I think that, I mean, one way or another, despite all this blight stuff, on the way, I'm a tangent. This whole thing for me is a tangent of the group here on our way to solving that problem when they come to begin with. We will be there to try to resolve it one way or another. But we didn't have a good plan in mind, something strong enough to be able to truly deal with that when it came. I think that, at least from my perspective here, having heard what we've said here, um, it's only right even to put such a massive decision about the fate of the prime material plane in a group of folks from a bunch of different influences who altogether make up a kind of neutral area in between.
A
I
kind
think
of.
the Scion Squad.
I think if there were ever an avatar of the prime material plane to stick up for it, it's the lot of us, yourself included in that here, Ashiera. As much as I'm Blight and you're Bloom, the fact that we're both those things put on the same squad of folks here would embody the prime material better than anything I can think of.
Blight, Bloom, more Blight, Chaos, Fae, the Grand Wizard of Cathartis, Raccoon, and just a lovely individual named Ode. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm done with that.
It's a motley crew, you could say, but
Eric's in the bathroom. I'm so
damn it,
sorry.
that was for him.
Wait, okay, hold on. Play that back once he gets back.
He can watch the recording.
Um,
Then
That is
yes, when they arrive, if they arrive and you're all amenable to it, in whatever state that looks like, I'm willing to go forward with you on this plan. I will warn that passing our curse along is not easy. Or rather, it's much easier for me. I imagine I can tempt them with the promise of eternity. They seem destined for that anyway. Passing your blight along may be trickier.
what does it entail, Shira? This is part of why we came to you to begin with. You have incredible answers that we've been searching for.
Well, in a manner of speaking, it's ripping the damn thing out of you and stabbing it into them. Though, if you can imagine, that won't be the most pleasant. But I do believe that I can help with that in the moment now. She puts her hand to the ground, and you see rising from it is this just like bone knife. It almost looks like almost a tuning fork of just kind of like the two blades to it, one slightly curved, the other just straight. I believe that, and this is a tangential benefit to you anyway. With this, I may be able to seal the blight for a time from you so that you may attack them. This will take some doing and some time for all of you, but I believe I could seal the blight away for a moment, for long enough that you may then use it against the Illithids, presuming they arrive soon.
So you would, right here and now, seal the.
I'm not able to do it. This is
Sorry.
rather similar to the. It's a bit of an inversion of the original ritual I assumed I would be performing, but we make do with what we can. Um, no. Using this blade, you would need to strike at the blight, specifically at the blighted part of yourself. But rather than here, from within the Everwrought, sealing it within this blade and ripping it from you. In doing this, it would be confined to this for a time being, though its power would continue to grow and it will eventually break free. Do not break this knife. Do not break this knife after it is sealed. Looks at Byron in particular, and then looks at Bailey. Hold on a second.
I haven't broken this for all this time.
No, you listen here. You are not using this on every other motherfucker you see. But yes, once the blight is sealed within this blade, which it will take some time for me to put on the necessary spells and enchantments onto it to enable this to have a shot at success, it would be bound to you, and you may use it in your coming battle. Though, when you use this blade in that battle, the first strike will be potent, and it will be the first step in infecting it.
So, to make sure I'm understanding, we're gonna now or at the time just before we're gonna use it. I need a little clarification there. Go to the Everwrought and use this blade to stab the blight out of me. Seal it away in this blade. Come back to the prime material with a time limit, and in that time limit, stab this entity that we're trying to infect with the blighted blade, thus beginning an infection process on it.
Almost there. A few points of clarification. As you're right, it would be sending you all to the Everwrought in the eve before whenever they arrive, because as I said, would not recommend doing it now because it may just get out, and that's a whole other mess to deal with. But yes, there would be it would be on the eve of whatever your battle with them would be. We would seal this. You all would travel to the land of the Everwrought, and it's not as simple as stabbing it. You would need to do battle, weaken it until such time as the rot is expelled from you, and you may directly attack its form. In that moment, you would be able to seal it away.
Understood.
From
Okay.
there, yes, you would essentially be, once you have your final confrontation with this big fuck off brain, as we've decided to name it.
Awful.
The BFOB, sorry. With this BFOB, you would essentially attack it and try to infect it. Now, the blight is not particularly discerning, and seeing what it would consider a powerful host would certainly tempt it. So the issue is dealing with it as it is infected and being infused with the blight.
So here's where the other question I have comes in. When does the bloom happen?
I imagine I will be there with you and can tempt it, or at least in that moment I can tempt it. I will not be of much aid in the fight itself, however, as while I can't, if past experiences to go by, the moment I give up my bloom, I will pass on.
Understood. So you will be with us in that moment, and I will use the blight to infect and tempt this being that we're trying to punish. Once it has been infected and tempted, you too will tempt it. Perhaps even as a remedy to the pain it suddenly feels from blight, you'll offer bloom. A cursed offering that it will accept and come again?
They don't need to know that part.
True. That they'll accept in the thought that it will give them reprieve from the pain it's feeling from my curse. And upon accepting it, we'll subject it to a mind-rotting torture that it will undergo for eternity.
At that last part, you see Ashiera, like, there is immediate doubt as you use that exact nomenclature.
I won't butter it up or make it any prettier than that sounds. It's true, and from everything you say, you and I both know that to be the case, and we have to be willing to go through with that, understanding it.
Well, I believe I'll know in the moment, let's say. I
Understood.
believe that if these forces are as terrible as you describe, it should be self-evident.
Understood. I am comfortable with that as I have full confidence. But one other thing, I suppose, going down this route, occurs to me that needs to be resolved, and that's that as it stands, I'm in a standoff with the blight. I've been doing everything in my power not to be consumed by it and to maintain my own force of will over it, and thus far have succeeded with the help of the people around me here and at cost to them. It's going to be a finite amount of time before this encounter occurs that we're going to try to seal the blight away in this thing. But it still will be a span of time of some sort, whether it be days or weeks. I need to not succumb to the blight between now and then, because it would not seal itself by its own hand. I need to be the one to do it. Do you have any recommendation, Ashiera? Any help, anything that you can offer or advise between now and then to help me to maintain the control that I need, so that when that decisive moment comes, I'm still the one in control of the arm of Sam?
Give me some time. I may
Understood.
have something to offer. And she kind of she walks back in towards the tree, and then it just almost like melds with it for a little bit, and then is just suddenly gone. And you guys are all left alone for a bit.
Well, that was unexpected. Sonny, you're a
Yeah.
fucking genius.
And
Wait, so did we ever
Yeah.
figure out the whole Sunny dying thing?
No, but I don't think this is over.
How does
Okay.
I mean, what you were saying something? Ode?
that affect?
I think you cut out there for a bit.
Oh, yes.
I heard, how does?
Yes, I was wondering how this plan affects you, Sunny, because Ashira was ominously saying that your soul was trapped in the Everwrought, but I mean, would it not be if under some circumstance?
And also, if we're going to the Everrock, can we try to find it?
I have no idea how any of this works. But I feel like going to the Everrot is probably where something to address that would occur, if there is something to address that. There is something I never told you all. I wasn't just gone when I died. I was somewhere. And that somewhere now I'm sure was the Everrock. And it's not a place you want to be. It's not a place I want to be. Certainly not forever. But as far as this goes with me, at the very worst, I'm not, worse off than when we decided to come here. So, yeah.
I want to do at some point. I don't have it prepared today, which is frustrating, but I want to commune with Miss Stara a little bit and see if she has any opinions on this. I feel like, because gods are fickle, in my limited experience, it's kind of a I'm not going to tell you because you didn't ask kind of a thing. So it's very possible she does know about this, and she just like I just never brought it to her attention, so she never talked to me about it, you know?
Yes.
So maybe, and she has seen before, we've seen, Sunny, that she knows that you have a soul, right? Like she saw it in you before. So if she saw it in you before, maybe she knows where it is now. Maybe if we can go through Kaled, the Everrot, then we can find it.
Well, I don't know. There are no original ideas. Everything that has been invented has already been invented. I don't know if it's so much a misplacement of my soul as it is a condition of being infected with the blight. I
Right.
think there's. I mean, Ashiera said that she could separate the blight from me, but that would come at the cost
Kill
of
you.
killing
Yeah.
me.
Well, wasn't it because like your soul was intertwined with the blight? So, but aren't revivals just bring the soul back into the body? So if we purify your soul and then just redo the revival,
No.
but then we'd have to get a big ass diamond again, which that's going to be. Ugh.
That
I
is a
mean-
pain in the ass.
Are you all up for another round of go see our good friend Bleak Larby?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
always
kind,
am.
kind of made it like more points to the canon. I don't think we can go back there.
I mean, there might
What,
be
why?
diamonds in Cathartis that Morak could have access
Oh.
to.
Plenty.
You do not get to promise that. You do not get to promise that.
We have at least 2 in Cathartis.
All worth 299
Yes.
and 99 cents.
Yes. But it's in Cathartian gold. So, with the
The value of the
translate-
dollar
So it's
there.
worth 875.
It's like
Yeah.
After how long do you guys? Yeah, just keep talking. Just keep talking.
How long do you think she's going to be gone? Because she said she needs some time, but I wasn't sure if that meant like 10 minutes or like 12 years. She's already stated
Right.
that time kind of like her perception is different from ours.
Yeah,
So
this
she might be
yeah,
thinking.
has absolutely lost any sense of social graces whatsoever. My goodness.
I'm
Because
just
don't know,
thinking about
she's-
that. Do you think like 10 seconds to her is like the exact same thing as 10 years? Like it literally just doesn't make a difference to her because she understands all of it as like if she understands every detail perfectly, then it's like she's experiencing every moment she's ever had before this one, like concurrently with the current moment.
I mean,
Ashiera walks from behind Zeka.
I suppose. Oh, hi. I was about to say, I've only really been alive for like 10 years or something like that, not counting the time that I was deactivated. But all I can say is every second I spend with this guy, and he points to Byron, seems like an eternity.
I can just leave.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just pulling your lariat.
I could black hole you right now.
That would solve at least one of the conundrums we have going on.
That's true.
Hi, Ashiera.
Hello. I'm sorry that took me so long. She was gone
Take another hit of the hookah.
maybe 8 minutes.
Did she hear what I said about the concurrent thing, and does she agree with it? Because I'm curious.
just immediate.
What a turn this took. I guess she's not on board with our idea after all. So, Ashiera.
What'd you
another
find out,
question.
Ashiera?
Oh, yeah. What'd you find out? Where were you, anyways?
The fire plane.
Denny's. Oh.
And she pulls out a big ass
Sandwich.
knife. Looks like a Bowie
Oh.
knife in size, except the entire blade looks to be made of What is that black stone? Not
Obsidian.
Obsidian
I think that's right. Anyway,
Who
or
knows?
onyx.
onyx. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's a big ass rock snake. No, but no, a onyx blade and just kind of like these different like primordial glyphs carved into it. I believe with this I can to both of you offer a moment of reprieve or a bit of buy you a bit of time. You're not going to enjoy how this feels, though.
Let me just turn off my pain sensors.
All right.
I have no such luxury. Go for it.
She fucking ignites it, and you see the blade extends out and is just dripping lava. Arthur, would you be so kind
Pele.
as to let go?
Right here in front of the tree.
Let go.
All right. I'll trust you on that one. And Artuk is going to. I've had it
He is
sealed. I've had it sealed way, way down since the whole encounter on the ship. I had got control and I managed to pin it, and I haven't let go of that pin I've been holding since then because I've actually had it down. I'm gonna let go.
As you begin to kind of like psych yourself up for it, you see Ashiera kind of run her hand over the blade, and you actually see like even though it's like onyx is a rock ostensibly, you do see little bits of like life and bloom begin to kind of grow on it before catching fire, and you all hear just a very quiet prayer being uttered by Ashiera. Through the light of the primordial flames, allow me to seal back this evil, and through this rot, let it be destroyed. Let this humble soul find peace, even if only for a moment, and may he offer mercy for the pain I am about to inflict upon him. As you let go, I'm gonna need to roll some dice real quick just to see how much, because she's in front of you all, and then she is instantly behind Artuk, and Artuk, you feel like a stab into a particularly large spore cluster in your back. Then another one into your abdomen. Then another one just like a raking slash. All of you guys look at this, and though Artuk consented, this looks like she is just trying to fucking kill him. Do you guys do anything to respond?
Duh.
But as
Sonny-
you see,
Sonny
the
kind of like
stab
reaches down
back
to like
shoulder,
hold.
they stab to the abdomen, the slash across the chest, and then just one final one that seems like it is going for your head.
So Sonny kind of reaches down to hold Zeka back in case he was gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Zeka's raising his hand as he does this, and then he lowers it as Sonny grabs it.
If I know anything about Artuk, well, I hope he knows what he's doing, but he certainly wouldn't want us to stop. Not now.
I'm trusting you.
Artuk, how much temp HP do you have from a blight form?
From one blight form, I gain. Oh boy, it's been so long. It is. What's my current level?
You're on
9. 36.
You take 58 points, 29 fire, 29 radiant.
Okay. Did I let go of did I tempt myself when I let go, or did I not?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely, you did.
Okay, so I take 58. You said
58.
but I gained 36, so total 22 to my actual HP.
Okay. Immediately, though, the blight form reemerges on feeling this fucking searing pain. Do any of you do anything?
Artuk, say something if it's getting to be too much.
Let us know, Artuk.
You
Oh,
got
It's
it.
looking like a
and-
lot.
Hearing
Scream
them,
in wild pain if everything is okay.
We trust that you know what you're doing. You weird druid people.
I nod hearing it and do everything in my power not to fucking scream.
I'll just roll this next one to keep it a little simpler for math. Yeah, Artek, by the way, make that wisdom save for that. This burns hotter than anything.
Wisdom saving.
Sonny does lean over to Byron. He says, "Maybe get ready to heal him."
28.
In spite of the amount of pain that you are in,
Not the
you do
cleric?
feel. Well, one thing you notice is where the blade and where
You
the
healed
flames
more
kind
than
of
our
spread
cleric.
out from it. A lot of the time, the spores will kind of fester and then reform around it. They become hollower, they become weaker. You notice this is burning them cleanly away. Unfortunately, the flame is also going and burning clean away at your skin. But Ashiera is going to have another go. This time, same kind of style where it's just like she is just slashing at every spore-addled part of you.
Am I putting my spores up again?
Yes, sir.
That's a
You
good
take
roll.
40 this time. 'cause
Okay,
she
that
rolled
only
poorly.
bleeds 4 into my real HP. I technically already used the wild shape today, so I don't have spores left unless you let me do it an additional time.
Oh. She just keeps going at you then. No, actually though, as those go away, what level spell is Blight?
Light is a fourth level. Yeah, fourth level spell.
How many spell slots do you have at 4th level?
3.
You are going to take 36 points of, again, half and half and half. Mark down. I'm going to roll and see how many that is. I'm going to roll a d4. Actually, roll a d4, Artuk.
Sure. I don't have temp HP at this time though, right?
No, you do not.
Okay, so this is just going directly to me. 4.
God damn you. God damn you. God damn you. Artuk, as you feel your traditional spore, the symbiotic entity of the spores fade away as they rot and they just burn cleanly away, not reforming, not latching out at you to leech on life or anything else around them. It is a cleansing fire. But even deep within your heart, you feel that primal force of the blight begin to manifest. And that black spot that on the ship manifested, I believe it was on your wrist, kind of emerges on your stomach. And this time Ashiera just plunges the dagger straight into you and it burns severely. But the strangest thing is on the parts where the blight is, it almost falls in, kind of similar to a portable hole, where it seems like it is not just stabbing through you, it is inflicting pain on you, but it is almost burning at its primal essence in that way. What HP are you at this point?
Currently 10.
You're lucky. You are lucky you rolled that 4. As you see, like, the rot spread out over the knife and just begin to ignite. And Ashiera, as she pulls it back, I'm just gonna say you take 3 more points of slashing damage as just the knife is pulled out of you. But for a moment, you feel the blight is to a degree not sealed away, but exhausted of you. Obviously, it will reform given time, but you feel as though it is like you are more drained of it than you have been in an exceptionally long time.
Holy fuck, that hurt.
Byron will run forward and start pumping heals into him.
Stop. Stop.
Hold off, Byron. What's up with me now, Ashiera? What did it do? Is it gone? I can feel it. Not there. Not as
It's
much.
not gone, Artuk. It's not gone until we put this plan of yours into action.
I know that much, but
It's weak enough in this moment that I can do this. And she grabs a hold of your chest and just begins to press into it. You see like bits of the kind of ever growth that has kind of infests, like the bugs that make up her eyes. They begin to kind of spread down along her arm and into you, like along her arm into you, into your chest. You see different bits of like you see an actually like clearly like elven eye actually materialized for just a moment as you feel like different wooden like it's almost like the wood, nature, leaves, all the foliage begins to kind of spread onto your chest and onto the rest of you. This is a seal. This will hold it back, much as the dagger will for the ultimate blight, for only a time. Though, with how much I fucked it up with the primordial knife, it should hold for a bit of time. And if I'm to travel with you, I will happily see to it that you are stabbed repeatedly again down the line. Worry not.
Oh boy. All right. Then I'm settled until then. We have a plan for what's going to happen then. The only thing that I have left to ask is there a positive resolution? Oh, not is there. What is a positive resolution that we could find here for Sonny? He's touched and hurt, but if we're going to be traveling to the Everrot to begin with, if he's broken between here and there, what can we do to bring his fullness back to him, to undo the touch that I've irreversible or that I've done to him in a painful way, and to set back the mistake that came from me not having control?
Well, as I said, I can I can release him from it, but it will undeniably kill the man. But whatever you are, it will
I'm
the
Sunny.
blight will reach out and end him, and he will not have enough to withstand it. His afterlife, whatever it looks like, will be free, but his time here will be over.
So if we have the magical means to restore someone from their loss of life, from their afterlife as is, are you saying that you could separate him from the blight, and then by our own merit we could return him from wherever he ends up in a way that is himself holy again without that blight?
There is no guarantee that that will work, as I'm sure you're aware.
Sure, but it would.
So I would posit that factor that into your calculations that he will what I can do is give him his afterlife in which he will assuredly die and you can maybe get him back.
Sure.
Alternatively, he continues his hellish existence. Would not recommend.
It seems like you're not recommending either.
I'm telling you that he's in a shit position.
Hmm.
But
I'm not saying he's not that any of these options are good. I'm saying that it really is unfortunate that he has to deal with this.
But it's possible, right?
It's possible, yes. And I can assist you even in that regard.
Here's a
Give me one
question.
moment. She walks and merges with the tree again.
Damn it. She doesn't really have a great grasp on social cues, does she?
it doesn't seem it.
You know,
Do we have any
I
more
don't
diamonds,
want
or are we plumb out?
We're plumb out.
to. I don't want to.
Damn.
I don't really, I guess, know your. Well, I only know a little bit about your association with this entity. I don't think she's a goddess, Artuk. I don't know, but I mean, I'm just gonna say it seems like she doesn't have a lot of friends.
I mean, I get the feeling that she just outlives them all and decided to give up on it. That's sort of what it sounds like.
I mean, that's kind of a defeatist attitude if you think about it. I mean, just because you've lost friends in the past doesn't mean that you can't make more friends. I mean, it seems like she gave up, and that's where her real sorrow came from. I mean,
I
look
feel
at me.
like
Viewing death as for her a release from a curse that is unattainable to her now with her wish to not pass on the curse. So she probably doesn't even really comprehend that like for regular folks death is sad and something to want to be avoided.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, she was saying she can't die and she's trapped here, but she did just go to the elemental fire plane. I mean, I don't know what she's really expecting her afterlife to be. Maybe it's something that she's kind of just started to glorify after years and years of not having it. Who's to say that her afterlife would be any better than her existence here? I mean, it could be
I-
exactly the same for all she knows.
Sonny, she can recall every single moment of her life with perfect clarity, including the death of all of her closest friends.
But
So
that also
every
means
time
she
she
can recall the best times.
I suppose.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
she should just put some more effort into having better times that she could remember. I mean, I don't really want to, drag on her too much. I mean, it's completely up to her. I guess I just don't understand what it's like to be an immortal being with perfect memory.
What
Definitely
I
don't say
feel
that
like
in front of her.
very-
She'll slap you, and it'll be awful.
Yeah,
We should
that would be super embarrassing, Byron. I can't believe that happened to you. You must feel so silly. Yeah, no, you're right, Byron. I get it now. If I had to live with the shame of being slapped by this lady, oh, I couldn't do that for eternity. No way. Maybe my impending doom has brought me into a certain level of introspection that I lacked before.
my takeaway from what you're saying, or what we've gathered about her existence, is that perhaps, at least I feel like we should take her warning us that there's a binary of either you're trapped the way you are, or your soul is freed from being tied to the Everwrought and you're dead. And maybe take that with a grain of salt, that those are the only two options.
Well, that's a good point, and that does remind me why I started going down this path. What's my alternative? I mean, I have a soul, I guess, but does that mean we know where it's going? And I suppose I genuinely don't know. And he kind of looks towards Zeka. I mean, is this what is next? Because on the one hand, I know going to the Everrot, I've been there for a little bit, and that was not
Well-
something I'm keen on repeating, but I don't know what the other alternative is, and I don't know if there's a guarantee of anything. Maybe it's just
Well,
nothing.
Sonny, I think we should explore that together, and maybe we can find a window to the vista.
I'm
that
not making a
awaits you.
suicide pact with you, Zeka. I won't do it.
And maybe it'll take us 98 years to figure it out. Or, I don't know, maybe there are 10 windows out there. Who knows? I think that there's a vista out there waiting for you.
Maybe.
I get it, Will. I get it.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Is this of mice and men?
No!
Windows Vista, Windows 98.
Oh!
He runs on Linux is the problem. It's not compatible.
maybe there's an Ubuntu waiting there for you. I don't know what that is, but maybe it's there.
I see you died. Need some help.
Well, I think is maybe there's a third option, that we can separate
Linux.
Sunny's soul from being tied to the Everwrought plane without killing Sunny.
I mean, yeah. I
That would be pretty cool.
Here, give me some time. And Zeka walks away and then realizes that won't actually help him to get his spell slot back faster. So he just sheepishly comes back.
I mean, if Ashiera is going to be with us from here on, this option is available to us and doesn't necessarily need to be acted on immediately unless your timer is coming close to an end.
Well, yeah. And on that, I was thinking, maybe what Ashiera needs is to have a little bit of fun. Maybe she hasn't had friends in so long, she's forgot what it's like to have a night on the town. So maybe that's how we can help her. We can give her some good memories.
I think the blight's affecting Sunny's brain. He's just all over the place now. He's now suggesting that we show her a good time. I don't know how that helps anything.
Maybe we can show her a good time. Maybe you can do it. And he gestures to Byron.
I don't think that's gonna work.
No, I don't think Shirley likes me like that.
Or at all.
A part of the 10 years was her thinking about how much she did not want to go on a date with Byron.
A part of it is thinking, describing somebody exactly who, exactly is Byron. Man, I'd never go out with someone like that.
It's Brian.
Grandpappy Brian?
What, Brian?
And also, for just thinking out loud, I gotta say, in terms of things that I expected from anything in my lifetime, traveling to another plane of existence that is the plane of existence for rot and death, was not on my list of things I anticipated, and I can't say I'm incredibly looking forward to it.
I mean, you said it on the way in here and asked everyone, and I think it was pretty apt, and I'd bring it up again before anybody jumps in and does that for me. If y'all don't want to do that, don't. Like, plain and simple. If I go alone to the plane, I'll go alone to the plane. Anybody who wants to join me is a blessing, but not a necessity. I wouldn't want you to do that to yourselves if you don't want to, obviously.
I mean, the way it stands right now, what's another week?
I've got nothing else going on.
I've got no game, so I've got nothing better to do.
Maybe
Like
you'll
that,
get a
or
nice
just maybe
flight lady.
the blight and the bloom are what we've learned to be curses, but the real blessing is the friends we made along the way.
Oh,
You know what,
God.
Artuk? I've changed my mind. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I
Clive.
don't. I think we should just go kill the blight monster. I feel like that's what this is all going towards. And also, I'd like to see what one of these other planes is about, since I'm apparently plane prime material centric. Oh,
Plain Jane.
Yeah, I also want to figure out all this Fey touched shit. Like, what's that all about?
okay. To be fair, you have a will-o-wisp following you around. She lives next to a fey forest, so it kind of makes sense.
Maybe your satyr legs are more, or sorry, your goat legs are more.
Don't say that one, Jim.
Your sheep legs are more
Yes.
are more satyr than they are sheep.
But they're Milos's legs. I thought anyway. I mean,
Oh.
they look like
Well,
Milos's legs.
well, she doesn't know that. How would she know that? She just lives next to a fey forest.
Who does?
Oh, yeah, maybe she just saw a satyr and didn't know that
Yeah,
he had regular sheep.
Yeah,
legs.
it's like when you come in and it's like oh, we got two blight walkers, one being a robot, and then a satyr who presumably lives a few blocks away. That one kind of just makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose perhaps you're like the most regular thing here among us for her.
I mean, apparently I was the most regular thing because I didn't even get an association with like a
Oh, you're the scion.
plane or a.
Maybe you'll find something. What if we find you your own plane?
That seemed a little lonely.
Alternatively, though, I will say that being the avatar for a plane's a bit overrated.
Yeah, Byron, how do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
Well, I immediately revolted, and I'm sure it's still coming to try to kill me.
Doesn't it seem a bit
Feel
odd
the
on
heart
concentration?
sensitivity of the blight?
Yeah. Wait, Byron. I'm just still a little bit on the whole like prime material plane centric. With your time in the chaos plane, did they ever talk about any of the other planes, or were they only?
Believe it or not, whenever they were all attacking me, they were all just sitting there shouting, the prime material plane is dog shit. The real one in the middle is a big fireball. No, what the fuck? No, they were trying to kill me.
Okay. That's a question though. Like, so the chaos and a blight and bloom all are choosing to manifest in this plane, right? Is there also a chaos avatar trying to manifest in like the fire plane? I think we
I was
are like
about
the
to say
central
that.
plane.
Like all the other, is there a group of a bunch of like water people being like, oh no, the airplane's trying to take all the wet stuff? Like,
No,
I
the
don't.
way-
Sorry,
That's
the
happening.
what?
Like, the water. Like, I don't know. Like the water plane always wants to flood the earth. Fire plane wants to burn it. Like, it all makes sense.
Now that you say it, there's a bunch of plays and historic stories about demons and devils trying to break out of their plane into the prime material plane. They're not trying to break into other planes.
Yeah, it's like the abyssal plane, like they're all powerful over there. Like, why wouldn't they just want to stay there?
Maybe it's all just free real estate to them.
What I took from this, right, is that like maybe we're the only one in the middle with everybody's trying to come in, but somewhere out there's another party of folks that's like a water guy, like a fire guy, the avatar of order, and like a librarian and a human prince, and they're all going to try to save some other part of the world right now. Probably.
That would be so crazy.
I think
Hey, wait.
a librarian.
Oh Lord!
What if?
Yeah, but because he's the avatar of whatever. No, you're cool. Like you should be like.
No,
Maybe
I mean,
I'm just avatar of like shadow jumping.
Yes.
No, because Ode's like all the parts of the Cobalt Soul that aren't librarians. She's all the cool parts, and then there's just librarians. That's the opposite of her there.
Okay, you turned that around, Dartuk. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was my intent.
So at what
What?
point do we take our ponytails and put it into the tree? That's what I'm confused about. All
Well, wait. Oh, what if all of the other planes are sending their avatars here to the prime material plane, because the prime material plane is the one in the middle that connects all of them together. You can't just go from the fire plane to the water plane. Maybe you can't just get on an airplane.
Actually,
So
You
what
have
you're
to go
saying?
through
So what
the
you're
prime
saying is that
material.
the prime material plane is at the center of everything, and that we were right.
Yes,
It's
I
like
kind of
Saudi
agree.
Arabia in Risk, like to get from Asia to Africa or from Europe to Africa.
yes.
Right?
You know,
You got to
the
go through
war,
Saudi Arabia first.
the war game simulation of Risk that we use in the military for war game strategizing and stuff. This completely made up place with fake names.
I think that this theory about the prime material plane being in the center is actually 100% true, and because we've come upon this revelation, we should tell other people about it and like go out into the world and let them know that the prime material plane needs to be protected because we're in a specifically vulnerable position, and we should like get followers who agree with us to all like, know about this.
We could call ourselves like the plane walkers.
Yes, the planeswalkers. It'll be sort of a planar campaign.
Yeah, we'll just like walk around and tell people about the planes.
I think this is a great idea.
At what point do I start shouting at them with a bullhorn and saying that they need to repent?
Well,
As
maybe
soon as we get to Catharsis.
the prime material plane will be safer.
Because I'm ready. I'm ready to start shouting at people saying they need to repent.
Did you guys hear that the Beatles are reforming?
My only thought is that this is Mary out of character. I wanna go kill the blight monster like right now, and I don't want to have to put this narrative on hold and be like, okay, but wait, we'll come back to your narrative, we promise.
Here's the thing: we don't even know if the Illithids are coming back in our lifetimes. We have no concept.
Nope.
So we got to go to them.
It would be pretty anticlimactic.
Oh yeah, we gotta hit them before they hit us.
Yeah, the Illithids are like, they all live like 18,000 years, right? So we'll be there like around like at 17,000 probably. That way they're old, and then they won't be as strong.
But what if it
Get
turns
back
out
to
that they were peaceful all along? They just didn't understand us.
Yeah, and then we
that's
committed
why they-
basically genocide.
Well, no. What? If their morality scale is different from ours, that still makes them evil by the prime material. Like, it doesn't matter if they were
That's
just
really
trying to,
prime
like,
material
harm us.
centrist.
I will be the first to say,
Yes.
if their version of doing good is destroying and enslaving everyone, I will go out on a limb and say that's still not cool. I'll die on that hill. Anyway, the Empire was great for a lot of reasons.
So,
It's been like 3 hours.
so does anybody else hungry?
Where did
Maybe if we
say
made
she was
Ashiera
going?
a really good like sandwich, she would be a little more upbeat about her plot in life.
A good
Oh,
sandwich was-
I've been fermenting these peppers to make this like pepper jelly, and I was gonna make some like focaccia bread with like pepper jelly and goat cheese and
Well,
no.
goat cheese.
Zargo,
and
we need to have a
Yeah.
come to Jesus moment. You can't just say it's fermenting when it's just been rotting in your bag for 3 weeks.
she will remember this
that's what
forever.
fermenting is.
So
I don't. Yeah, but
Does she even have taste buds?
she have a
I'll
mouth.
make her
She
my
probably has,
megabytes.
like infinite taste buds.
Bagel bites.
Dude, which like she probably tastes like all of it. Like every single strand of cheese.
Every bite of the bagel
Every-
bite.
It's like a
every
party
bite-
in her mouth, probably.
Like all the air pockets in the bread, she probably feels like every single one of them.
Do you think she has a lot of bugs in her mouth, and do you think she can taste them all the time?
She
She
walks
She
forward.
probably does.
Oh,
She
hi,
walks forward
Ashiera.
in the middle of this conversation.
I've got a question
do you
that
want some
might seem a little silly, but
Shit with
What?
Wait, is Ashiera back?
Yeah.
Ashiera, isn't there any way that we could like trap the blight in the knife and then just like not use the knife so that we could do it before, like not necessarily the night before we think that the illithids are gonna attack, but just like get it out of the way?
I can do that. It's just a matter of the blight may break free of the seal. In a mechanical sense, it might just break free early.
Well, yeah, but in like a mechanical sense, can't it just not so that we can do it now and not have to like
I
worry
didn't
about it?
give you guys the plan to fucking curse the illithid mind with it. I didn't do
I-
that. I'm not fucking
David,
covered
David,
bandits.
can we just write this down as a story for the rest of it and not roll dice and just say things work out the way that they do?
As Adam, I don't mind it. Like, if it wasn't for a cool payoff, I would mind it. But like, this is a neat way to do the plot to twine the or intertwine the plot threads together, and I don't mind if it's like this becomes part of the climax then and doesn't have to climactically end now.
I just want this to be done for the love of Jesus.
Well, it is done for now. So like
That's fair.
we figured out step one. Listen, like this is 12-step process.
Is this Becca talking to Mary?
Yes.
What'd you say?
It's the second talking to Mary is one of my favorite quotes of the day.
If you guys want to try to seal the blight away and all that stuff, you can totally do that. If you want to do the knife trick with the illithid stuff, then you can do it now. But it's either it has a chance to break free early and you have to deal with that, or you do it the day before and have to deal with that.
Yeah, I think
So-
We wait.
Hey, Morak,
Yeah.
do you think you could like reach out to them mentally and get like an ETA?
That's not a bad
Yeah,
plan.
ask them to share their location.
Send them a Venmo request, but make it look like a payment.
Wait, if you send the
I feel like
Venmo
our-
request to the Elder Brain, would that go to every single illithid? So if you ask for like $1, maybe you'll get like $1 million.
Then we'll know how many of them there are, and then we can start building forces. Like,
Oh,
No,
well,
they would get like an alert because they're not friends with you on Venmo. So
that would get upvotes at r/D&D.
that's my.
Can we
My
take a
bar.
10-second break so I can use the restroom?
no.
No.
yeah, you
Piss
didn't
yourself.
go to your pre-D&D Cather?
I feel like I made this joke before.
It's not a joke.
See, I just logged in on my phone, muted myself, and then.
Did you really?
Smart.
Yeah, that's why I disappeared for a bit. Went to the bathroom and
I
grabbed
was
trail mix.
wondering.
That's
Smart.
so great.
I've used the bathroom while on a Discord call with you guys so many times. I did it a little bit ago in
I
the
won't say I
gas
haven't
station.
done it.
I feel
Is
so
that why you
great.
said thank you for your time?
Yes.
I don't know why I forgot about it. Like it was happening and I didn't know, but now I know.
Well, I think I should say we don't have to go forward with this plan.
No,
There
fuck
is a-
that. It's dope.
I mean,
Yeah,
what's
I'm
our
here
other
for it.
option? Killing them? That's not torture.
I also
that is
don't even
true.
know if we could kill them.
True.
Yeah, just like the blight, we can't kill the blight. So
No,
I mean,
I think
we should be more prepared for the
2
fact that
days
this
ago.
might not work.
What, killing
Yeah.
all the illithids? I mean, we've already killed a bunch of them. Well,
I
maybe
feel
not
like-
much. I get
3.
And 2 of them were like weakened.
Yeah, there's
Okay, I'll
at
go to a
least 12 more. That's a lot.
I feel like the good thing that comes out of this is that we actually have a plan for dealing with the illithid and a plan that makes sure that the blight and the bloom are contained and balanced, but not hurting people's lives forever.
actually.
Like this is actually like the best possible solution I could possibly have considered.
Do we know for sure that this won't just like give them like a super mega ultra boost?
That's
Like,
what
make
I
them
was
just like
also thinking about.
I was a little concerned about that, but I'm Adam. I was a little concerned about that, but I'm gonna say I'm willing to narratively risk it. I think it's a cool arc for payoff.
we actually are going to create the void, aren't we, David?
We just the balance of like if we were just doing it, like, giving them one curse, then it might be, but giving them both, it's like they'll hopefully be somewhat debilitated by that, so that they can't like destroy all and humankind.
Yeah, I feel like
Or giving them Ashira's curse would probably be the worst thing you could do because you just make them unkillable and immortal, and they aren't depressed like Ashira is.
yeah, no, I feel like, the risk that we're running by doing this plan is that like, it doesn't work right and I just give him the Blight Walker powers, but actually, I guess that wouldn't really happen. It's either I'm going to give him the Blightwalker powers and it works, and he gets the Blightwalker and then gets Ashira's powers because that one isn't really a question. He's just going to grab or take them from Ashira, or I hit him with the knife and it doesn't work, and then we have to figure out how to deal with him without the Blightwalker power thing, and then we have to deal with the Blight the normal old-fashioned way.
Also, is there any way to guarantee that like the brain that comes to us is like the big bad brain?
I'm going to assume we're going to fight this thing at its head.
Well, fair enough.
I guess
Byron
that was
does have a point, but also, as far as we know, if they are all connected, it shouldn't matter.
fair.
Well, okay, I posit this, Carson. Wait a minute, Byron.
Who's Carson?
Wow,
I'm
second
between Adam and Arthur.
football everywhere.
Oh my!
I posit this to you. So, like, there's like the elder brain, right? But I would bet that the big honcho brain will be like a big brain,
Like even bigger.
like very big. That's
So like the last
literally
brain is like the
all
size of like a house. Are you
It'll
saying it's
be-
gonna be like the size of a mansion?
We
mountain?
fought some
Like
big
a-
brains.
like a
we
blue
fought,
whale.
We fought an elder brain, and now we'll fight the eldest brain.
Huh? Yeah,
Eric Glaze,
he got.
real quick.
Come again?
Eric Glaze.
Oh, okay. So I was about to say. So the only issue is if we don't get the main brain, and we get another smaller ancillary brain, and we infect it with the blight, and then it is infected with the blight, and it gets cut off then and quarantined from the main brain, and then we have this other separate blighted brain that's going and doing its own thing, probably collecting and spreading the blight on its own for others, and we've just created the flood from Halo.
Or we enter the Everross and we're all killed by the blight. There's only so much we can think about.
Honestly, at this point, it doesn't sound that bad.
And that's where I'm going anyways, so it's
Okay, that does kind
only
of bring
wins
us
for me.
back to the point there, Sonia. What do you feel in this situation about, all your stuff?
I mean, I would rather not spend eternity in well, I don't even know if it's eternity. Not gonna claim to really know how the afterlife works. Never really spent a lot of time there myself. But I feel like I set out to after my goal is to get rid of the blight with our time. We're going to do that. And I know I only have so much time, and I know I might not wind up where I want to be. But getting rid of the blight comes first. And then we have this illithid invasion impending. So if we can get rid of that too, that would be pretty swell.
I
And
think
if also I can not spend eternity in the Everrot, that would be swell too.
at this point, we have a plan that's come out of this, and we could talk plans forever and worry about problems with every one of them. I think the best thing to do at this point is just go forward and try it. Let's
Yeah,
I agree.
what?
I feel like that still isn't tackling the Sunny issue. Do you want to be cured now or cured later?
Wait, hold on. What were you gonna say, Mary?
Oh no, that's a good question. Especially if Ashiera can do the same thing for Sunny of like, holding off the blight for a while. Can she?
Well,
I don't have a diamond.
and Sunny kind of looks over towards Zeka.
If you all, Ashira speaks up. If you all would like me to cure him or expel the blight from him, and run the numbers on whether you can bring him back, you see, you see, her.
Wow,
The
this is
reason she was
meta.
gone, and you guys have been talking among yourselves. You see her bringing like several like clay decanter jars. And like raises up this like earthen like almost not coffin, almost like a bath basin, and you see her filling it up with some kind of oil.
Honest?
Oh my god.
I have the means to give you a shot, but it will not be guaranteed. As you guys recognize, you see on one of those casks, you see a small thing saying, property of Rocky Carniblast, certified oil of rebirth.
Whoa.
If you want to try it.
Wait, so what does that do?
Wait, this is the unguents and oils that they were referring to. I always thought it was more of like a, olive oil rather than a motor oil.
I don't understand.
If you guys want to share,
Hey, David, I understand. Oh, doesn't know what
okay,
resurrection is.
I don't understand.
I'm not falling for it twice.
So the options as I see them are to continue living with the blight for me. Continue living with the blight until it or something else eventually undoubtedly kills me. And spend the eternity, or then I'll wind up spending the afterlife in the Everrot. Or
Are you all right there, Zeka?
Huh?
that's something that sounded like either big crunching on a snack or maybe walking on a frozen watermelon.
Oh, sorry. I was eating the ice. I was biting my nails. I was just so nervous about what Shuddy was saying.
Okay.
Giant fucked up nails. Crunching like ice. Are you chewing your toenails?
This is a fucking
Your
mess.
hoofs. Anyways.
I ran out, so I started chewing more axe nails too.
So, but the way I see it, the options presented are either the options. Should we wait for them or?
Oh, this is fucking hilarious.
The options.
What is happening?
Eric and Mary are going in and out.
Oh.
Are either to live and then undoubtedly die, and then go to the Everrot, be consigned to the Everrot for the afterlife, or to die now and go somewhere and then maybe be brought back at some point in the future. Is this correct, Ashiera?
Yes.
And there's no
Well,
option in which I don't die and also don't go to the Everrot.
There is none within my power to do so.
Sunny is going to go over to Zeka.
Wait, Hank.
Well,
Sorry, real quick. Oil of rebirth. Would that cleanses him of the blight? Is that how that works, or would that revive him?
This
Just a little
would potentially revive him.
So it would be like you do the ritual that would separate his soul from the Everrot, and that would kill him. And then these oils have the possibility of reviving him. Is there any other thing that we have access to that has a more guaranteed option of reviving him?
No, not on my
more
part.
guaranteed. No. Hold on. Wait. Hold on,
Well, I
need to
mean,
look up-
it's worth the question. It's worth an ask. Like we take something over for sure, reviving Sunny over a slim chance type of
For
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, my question is that since the blight is clearly affecting Sunny's soul, wouldn't this just help his body?
No. She would do the ritual that would separate the blight from his soul. The
Okay.
ritual that would kill him, but free his soul from being
Yes.
connected to the blight. So in theory, a resurrection ritual, which brings back a soul to a body, would now bring back his purified soul to his dead body.
Okay.
In theory. But what if we waited until we could find one of those diamonds that Zeka uses, that's like if you do it right away, it seems more
there's still
successful.
only
It's
there's
still
only
well,
it's
a
still
thousand,
not
though.
guaranteed.
with
I didn't know
that,
that.
with that, I wouldn't have cured him. Is really the issue there. Well, actually, I suppose. No, wait. I do see your point with that. Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Well,
a
I
sec.
thought
David's having
well,
a.
I thought that was the whole point.
the resurrection ritual still happens when I do my revivify. Still involves that ritual.
Sorry, I just had a huge smooth brain on the rules. Yeah, he is right.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were saying anyway. Yeah. I was just having us think through the options.
Would revivify? I mean, the resurrect. Which one is the oils? Which one's the oily one? And which one is the rock one? What?
It's reincarnate.
Reincarnate.
Also, he would be a real boy.
Or he
Yeah,
could.
well, that's what I'm wondering. Is do we need another body?
I think
Because
Ashiera
without-
knows what she
Without
needs.
Sunny's soul, his body might just be a pile of parts.
What?
Sunny is gonna go over to Zeka. You gotta look him right in the eye.
Hi, Franny.
Hi, Zeka. So we have the options, and I want you to know that ever since I got brought back, I have accepted that I am going to die. It's going to happen. It happens to everyone.
Right.
Except for Ashiera. As long as we defeat the Blight in whatever capacity that means, as long as we save our time, that's enough for me. That was enough for me. And I was willing to die instantly if that's what it took. But after talking with you, I realized there's more than that. You're my best friend, Zeka. And I want to make sure you have a say in this. I am okay with any of these options. If I would spend eternity in the Everrot, if that meant that I had a shot at helping us save Artuk and banish the Blight and defeat the Illithid. And that's the only guarantee, is that if I don't go through this ritual, I'll be around for that chance to make that happen. If I do this ritual, well, I'll be gone. One way or another, I will die. And that might be today, but it might not. So in the long run, doing it may be the wise bet if it was just my call.
Well,
But for the
you
group,
might be.
not doing
Sorry.
it would be the wise call.
Right. So basically, it's like infinite rotting hell in the hand versus you still helping us and not having the blight in the bush.
That's a really
Or-
good way of putting it.
Or you're dead in the bush.
Or I'm dead in the bush. But I don't know what my afterlife is. And do we really know if it's an eternity in the Everrot? I didn't know the blight was a thing until a year and a half ago. Until a year and a half ago, I was already dead. So I don't think it's fair to say anything's permanent. I think we've quite obviously shown that that's not true. At least as far as we're concerned, up until now. So it's a gamble any way you slice it. The question
It
is,
is.
which gamble is best?
Sonny, I love you so very, very much. And of course, selfishly, I want you to stay here. But I cannot take any risk that you would spend an eternity rotting in a hell plane. I cannot. That sounds so unbelievable. The guilt that I would feel, I would like, Sonny, if that happened, I would come with you. I would find a way to find the blight, inflict myself with it so I could come with you into hell and drag you out. I refuse. I know the gods exist, and I know that there's an afterlife. And Miss Stara knows that you have a soul, which means she knows that you have somewhere to go after the society. And I cannot possibly imagine that the Lake of Rot is where you should be going. The Rot, what was it called?
The Everrot.
I swear I'm not doing it on purpose. Elden Ring is just like, anyway. So I guess I'm saying I think we should do it. And this time I'm ready for whatever comes. Because you did it on your terms. But I have faith in a lot of things. I have a lot of faith in my cooking, I have a lot of faith in Mistara, I have a lot of faith in Learnless and the spells he taught me, that they will protect me and keep myself, and much more importantly, all of you, and he gestures to the rest of the group, safe. But the thing I have faith in more than anything, Sonny, is that you are a good friend. And good friends don't come around very easily. They don't leave very easily. And he's gonna grab Sunny's hand and say, "So you're not gonna leave me today, and you're not gonna have a blight at the end of today."
All right. I believe you. Sonny's gonna stand up. Oh, he's gonna give Zeka a hug. Pull him in close. I think you're right. I think I'm gonna get through this. And not just this, but I think we're gonna get through whatever's after this. We're gonna get through those illithids. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be blightless. Artok's gonna be blightless. Blight's gonna be gone. Illithids are gonna be gone. Morak's finally gonna get that degree he's been trying to get. Everything's gonna turn out a-okay.
Meanwhile, Ode has been over admonishing Morak, saying, of course his body would function just the same as any other body. The only reason it didn't work the first time is because he was soul blind. His body's still a body. It doesn't become a pile of nuts and bolts.
You have a point. It's just I felt that way, and then I think we literally just took an arm off one of them and gave it to Pirate, and he's wearing it.
Well, yeah, that would be like if you took like a snake's tooth. It's not the snake, and it still has venom in it that you could like stab someone with, I imagine.
Okay.
I can't help but feel like this is undercutting the moment a bit.
I think the two of these guys are awesome.
In this session, the moment getting undercut. Imagine that.
I thought that was really funny because Ode is doing this not knowing how the reincarnate spell works, and
No,
then
this is
will be
awesome.
given a new body. If it works.
Wait, so if I'm not saying we want to, but if we did the spell on that bomb blast, would we have a new friend?
Armin 2.0.
I don't.
It reincarnates into a
Maybe
different.
we'll put that on the back.
That would make me uncomfortable thinking that arm cannon has somewhat of a soul imbued in it. Weird.
It's a different species of arm, yeah, and a different arm that is just an actual arm and will rot and decay. It's fortunate that it's, a warforged arm, which isn't gonna rot or anything.
Yeah.
But Sunny's gonna stand up and walk over to Ashiera. And he's going to kind of nod to everyone and say, I'll be back in the time it takes to say Delphinus brand motor oil. And he kind of winks at Zeka. He says, all right.
Two big thumbs up.
Do I just hop in or?
Oh, just mind the gap.
So, it's like a tub kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it basically just this earthen. In the Thing, the kind of ice bath that it's kind of that shape, but just made out of dirt, where it's just like it's basically just raised dirt and stone with like a basin in the bottom that you can just lay in.
Okay. So Sonny's gonna walk over to it, and
right now, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have undercut the moment.
Yeah, I didn't.
So he's gonna
right now.
Zeka, do you have a treat for the road?
Yeah, you bet. And Zeka will throw him one of the gluten-free crackers that he usually saves for Morak. But Sonny doesn't mind.
And Sonny kind of puts it up to his mouth, great, and he goes, yum yum, so tasty, and throws it over his shoulder, and like, all right. And as he's getting ready to step in, he's like, oh, Ashiera, and he beckons her close. Did you go on Rocky Carniblast to win this? Is that why you were gone for so long?
pushes you below the oil.
And as Sunny is going down, you see his arm raise up, give a thumbs up as his arm goes down underneath the oil.
All right.
Zeka prays to Mistara.
Ashiera is going to take a few minutes. As you guys notice, she kind of begins to put down kind of counter charms, enchantments onto the earth around it, onto the basin itself. Sonny, you're kind of just sat under. You kind of thought this would be like lights out immediately. You're just stood or laying down under the oil for like at least like 10-15 minutes.
Man,
What?
this is like so. If the oil's like food for them, then this is like sitting in a giant bath of pudding. It probably feels awesome.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
Pudding of reincarnated.
What do you want to sit and put? It feels like you're sitting in oil.
It's more like gravy, actually.
Oh,
Ooh.
Sitting in a giant bath of pudding would feel awesome? Question mark.
yeah. Who thinks that would feel awesome?
Absolutely.
It's actually it's
Now
been
official.
If it was
seeing mine
tapioca.
for a long time.
I think the only problem
always
would be
wanted
when
to
I
do
eat it because it's touching your gross body.
is
Well,
it like
true.
ruining pudding?
Actually, maybe I just want to eat pudding. No, I want to be immersed in it.
I feel like it would feel quite lovely.
I wouldn't want it touching my hair.
That's why you wear a hairnet.
Sunny doesn't have.
He will soon.
Ashiera, after a few more minutes, Ashiera reaches her hands into the oil, kind of grabs Sunny, lean real over and way too deep of a tub. He went way too low with this, so she's like almost like in it herself.
Sank all the way to the bottom.
Ashira, can we help at all? We want to do whatever we can.
With this part, no, but what comes after and bringing him back, yes, you will be needed. And Sunny, once again, similar to what Artuk faced, she really loves lighting you guys on fire.
Really quick. Sunny is checking as he's laying down there. He's checking. It's like mentally going through, just thinking about good times with Zeka. He's like kind of just doing a little system diagnostics, make sure he's ready, make sure that that pain switch is flipped off.
It's not. You realize it too late. You feel her touch you, and you suddenly feel just this intense heat all across, searing.
I switched it on. It's been off this whole time, and I flipped it from off to on. This is what pain is. This is what pain is. This is what people have been living with. I thought I knew why. It's been off the whole time, and I switched it on for this. Ah!
You guys see Sunny fucking writhing, oil getting everywhere as Ashiera. It's like trying to bathe a cat that really is fighting it. You're just in there. Stay down, goddamn. But in this heat, you guys also see the oil begins to bubble. Sunny. Oh god, you're in boiling oil now.
Oh, why would my creator make this? I was designed for war. Why would they make me feel pain at this level? It's like 1,000 times slower in slow motion and 1,000 times more intense.
Through this calm, quiet way to die, Sonny, you eventually feel your nerves, feel your artificial nerves shut down as you go into what's effectively shock. And the last thing you hear, the rest of you see, like you see like this boiling oil catching up, and it's like almost like forming bubbles that are like carrying like this blight up towards it, and then just igniting on the inside as whatever rot it is fades away from him. Your last thing you hear, Sonny, though, as you begin to fade away. Ooh, second best Denny's. As he fades to darkness. Once
That's gonna be
again.
a great thing to come back to when I'm alive again.
But yes, Much as before. Give me 1 second, actually. I'm going to take a quick pause to go to the bathroom.
Not allowed.
Damn it!
Right.
All right.
Go to the bathroom, aka plan the rest of the session.
Yeah, it's
Hey, we
45
vamped
minutes
for
before
like
we
an
go.
hour in there for David. He's fine.
Well,
This is exciting.
Yeah.
I wasn't
It
expecting this to happen, honestly.
I don't think David was expecting this to happen.
Yeah, I think
The
Eric
fucking
took this whole thing, threw it on its head, but made it such a cool twist that David had no choice but to accept it and try to run with it off the fly.
I 100% like bringing the Illithys into it. I did not like that came to me like the moment of. I was like,
I saw it hit your
I've-
face. I didn't know it hit your face until you said it. I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
Like,
it's so
I-
good.
haven't
David,
thought about
like-
that or planned about it at all. It just came to me.
Is responding to this as a thing to let us even try. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm really
Rule
happy
of
that
cool,
whatever
baby.
is happening with Sunny, there'll be some sort of change because that's why I felt like a little like, oh, we came all this way, journeyed all this time, and it's kind of like, okay, well then we'll just put this on a shelf until later. So at least like this is a change that'll feel whatever happens with Sunny appropriate to the journey
Yeah.
we went on to get here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess you guys should probably go ahead and think about how you're gonna bring me back. Think about
Yeah,
your
huh.
revival bits. I guess it'll
Yeah,
probably
the
be-
revival bit as opposed to what everyone did 3 sessions ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? We've
Think
gone so long.
about what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah, I would say
What's my highest
don't mention
modifier?
the Orcish traditions, maybe.
Mortgage traditions were great. Then freaking Byron came and was like, "Oh, Empire!" Ah!
Oh yeah, Kezzy is not here. So
We know she effed it up.
Yeah.
Whatever she did.
Maybe Milosh gets a say.
What if we all just do the exact same thing?
Like, hey, it worked before.
What if we reincarnate Sunny into the sheep half of my body?
Oh my
And
gosh.
then, and then
I'll be the
Turn him into an Illithid, please.
the
Oh god.
the sheep torso, human legs. That will be me.
I swear, if he gets reincarnated into a Hadozi, which is the freaking flying ape people, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't think David was even considering that as an option until you said it, but now it's an absolutely guaranteed thing.
Where's the like? David, are you gonna assuming so reincarnate has like a table of races? Are you gonna use like the expanded table of races in the in like the DM guild or whatever?
It's gonna be a woodland creature that is within proximity to the like what's going on.
That's
Right
your.
now.
Oh
A
wait, Will, you
squirrel.
can't see. Yes, actively pulling up the expanded reincarnation table.
Nice.
I
Bugbear.
don't need it. I was trying to think of like some like note or something that Sunny would leave, like just in case this doesn't work. But Sunny completely wholly believes that this is gonna work.
All
Hey,
right.
David.
Yeah.
David, can you go to Whispers for a second?
Sure.
Okay.
In other news, I'm like one YouTube API key away from building or from having the new music bot built.
Holy shit.
Really?
That's
Nice.
fast.
It was really
Yeah, I mean,
fast.
You can basically do it in like less than 100 lines of code. All you have to do is hook a YouTube API key to a Discord bot API key and use the predefined APIs.
Nice.
Hey,
Indeed.
So how does that like? Do you need any special permissions from Discord to be able to do that, or is that just
Oh, you
something that's
can-
available to everyone?
You can make a Discord bot no matter who you are. You just have to set up a developer account on Discord. As long as you
don't
have
even
one.
So you don't even need to like pay for it or anything.
Nope,
That's
it's
sick.
free. This is like the third or fourth Discord bot I'll have made.
Damn.
Damn.
Or the other ones.
That's great because then you can use it for future things too.
Yeah, I mean, when I've needed randomizers for things in the past, I've just built it as a
Resurrection
Discord bot.
fails based on what they said.
No.
Damn.
Okay. Well, you guys have gotten just as much time to prep your responses as I have to prep this whole concept. So, we hold on, I need to write some fucking stuff down real quick. I need to find the fucking resurrection rules again.
I know what I want to do, but it's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking dumb. But I'm gonna do it anyway because it's funny.
All right. All right. You guys all see Sonny's peaceful corpse. He went quietly this time.
He's got a smile on his face from his peaceful passing.
But you see, yes, you see Ashiera is kind of lighting incense around and has kind of carved, like with a hoe into the dirt surrounding it, a just kind of protective ward all around the area. And just begins to fill with the tankards the basin to which, or not basin. She begins to kind of, she already filled it. I've got that backwards. Kind of sprinkle just different accrements and stuff over it. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. Okay, so I'm sure we're all familiar with the process of creating focaccia at this point. I mean, you've watched Zeka do it so many goddamn times at this point, and he's gotten really good at it. And he's with his wizardy prowess, he's able to kind of speed up the process a bit. And with he folds out the dough and starts to shape it into the standard shape. But where he once poured olive oil over the top, he now pours, what's it called? Delphanos
brand motor oil.
He pours Delphanos brand motor oil over the top and starts poking it in and making that classic focaccia look. And then he starts to cook it, and he wafts the smell of the Delphanos, which probably to everyone else smells fucking awful. He wafts the smell of oil towards Sonny's corpse, and he's saying a prayer to Mistar and says, "You need to come back so you can taste this delicious creation I've made for you." And that's my contribution.
Well, all right. Sonny, check your DMs. And who would like to go next?
Sorry, we're still dealing with the thing of once every 5 minutes, the audio cuts out for 10 seconds at a time. It's really frustrating. Eric, don't try to fix it right now.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying, if it ever seems like we are not responding for a long period of time, it's probably because
Gotcha.
yeah.
No worries.
Just let us know if/when you guys are ready, or if we need to pause for any reason. Zeka or Byron?
I mean, Artak.
I already win.
Fucking end me.
Oh my word.
Artuk or
Zeka.
No, the deed's been done. The deed is done. Anyone gonna go?
Byron will kind of amble up. Kind of go, I'm not really sure what the whole oil on bread thing was. Hopefully he'll come back as a robot, because otherwise I think that'll kill you. But on a real note,
yeah.
I'm happy that you'll be able to find rest, but now's not the time, lad. We need you here. We need you now. And by God, does Zeka need someone to stabilize him, and that is not me. And he'll get ready to pat the body, then he'll go like, "Oh, that's oil," and pat the tub, and go, "Hopefully I didn't fuck that up," and walk away.
All right, Don Brosh, you're up.
Well, I'm back. So Artuk's gonna walk up after Byron, and he's gonna walk over to Sunny, and I'm gonna rest my hand on Sunny's shoulder down at the oil. I'm just gonna look down for a sec. All right, Sunny, you said it first. You got to go. Lights out of you. My turn next, and you wanted to be here to help, so let's finish you up first. And I'm gonna all the energy that I've had to put into holding my blight down all of this time for as long as I've been traveling with these guys, that I now have freed up because the blight isn't pushing back for a brief respite. I'm going to push towards expelling every semblance of blight-ridden anything that was left on the external parts of Sunny. I know that the blight has been solved by what Ashiera did, but obviously, it didn't just up and disappear immediately. She kept it from growing anymore. I'm just going to put a year and a half of practice wiping blight out and pushing blight away into just blasting it off of Sunny with way more force than the blight that he's had has ever experienced, because I actually am free to do it because of him.
All right.
This is going to be Sunny, clean and free, whatever happens.
As you do that, also, you do feel like in pushing against that, and in forcing that, once again, that kind of pressure or like that need to like restrain yourself to keep the blight, it is very freeing having that gone. But as you do this, you feel an almost like heat in your chest. And you actually feel like, specifically in the parts where she fucking marked the shit out of you, especially where she kind of put that final stab into your core, they do light up. In some ways reassuring and warm, also just very hot to the touch. Kind of thing of like if you like touch the stovetop for like half a second, it doesn't burn, it doesn't hurt you, but you're like,
It's there.
yeah, it's very present. You
Wait,
notice.
can only 3 people help?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys ready? Do you think you're good?
Yeah. I mean, it might cut out randomly, so if it does, we will just be told by you guys that it happened.
Okay.
Is Artuk done?
Yep.
Okay. Ode will kind of come up behind Artuk and put her hand on his shoulder and give it a squeeze as he kind of walks away from the basin as well. And Ode will kind of lean down so that she's talking into the oils quietly. And I'll say, Sunny, I feel really bad that I didn't help the first time around because I really wanted you to come back, but I was worried that I would, I don't know, taint the ritual somehow because I wanted you to come back because I was so worried about Artuk. I was worried that he would blame himself if you didn't come back. I was worried that his and Zeka's relationship would be eternally strained, and I knew that it was selfish to want you to come back just for them. And now I know that if you come back and you do help Artuk and you do guide Zeka and you continue to help us and love us as our friend, it's not, I don't know. I feel like I have a better understanding now that if you come back and you still adventure and do things for other people, that's what you want as well. You've said that you want to keep helping us, and you get to keep adventuring. You get to keep experiencing these new life experiences. So even if it's selfish to want you to come back for your help, it's also something you'll get to experience. And maybe where you are, what your soul is experiencing is good, but hopefully, even if you come back, you'll be able to get to this good spot again. And it's all about giving it a try if you can. That's it.
Okay. One moment. Always having to fucking text Sunny after these shit. Okay. Morak.
I like to think while people were saying their words, Morak was he ripped off some pieces of cloth from either one of his many clothes he carries with him, and wraps 3 sticks with the cloth at the top, and then dips them in the oil, and places them 2 across at either side of Sunny's shoulders, and then 1 at the base of his feet, and then he lights them with his green flame. And Ode might know this from being in Cathartis, but this is a typical when people are sick. It's a old shamanistic way orcs would seemingly grant protection and well-being to people. It was something that Luthic, the cave mother, would tell her followers to do. So he just does that, hoping that he remembers how it's done.
Okay.
And he kind of just stands back and lets stuff happen.
Okay. I'm going to roll real quick. Once I. Okay, 1 second. Need to roll. Give me 1 moment. Da 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 da. We're playing the song where we're trying to buy for time. Okay. Give me 1 second to roll this to see whether this works.
No pressure.
Do up, will the circle be unbroken?
Just send it to you, Eric.
Okay.
Okay. Now then, as you all see this, you see the oil begins at the close of all of your respective parts of the ritual. You see the oil continues to boil and rise, giving way to like this steam cloud above it. It obscures the view of the basin to which Sunny is ultimately staying or resting in. But as the steam rises, you do not see any trace of the blight anymore, obviously. And Sunny, I'd like you to roll a D100.
Okay.
You find out.
Oh, let's see. I'll roll it on 28. All right, hold on. Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Well, finally happened.
Okay.
See, I've been burned by David before. I don't even think it's happening still. I think he's just like, ooh, gotta create tension.
Mm. Hey, Sunny. Heads or tails?
Heads.
There's a coin real quick. Need to see something.
Okay, Sonny, if you had to say 3 American states off the top of your head, which 3?
Ohio, Indiana, and Nova
Chicago,
Scotia. Shit.
Now-
Damn it.
Now, Eric, out of character, go to your spice drawer, and what's the first spice you grab?
Garlic salt. It's the only one I got in there.
Salt.
You said heads, right?
Yes. Hold on.
I'm just so fucking curious now.
Gotta get a song.
Are we waiting on Eric?
I thought he was trying to do something. I was giving him a second. If he's not, I'm just gonna
Yep.
go.
Got it. What happens?
Sunny. As the steam fades and the party looks on into this basin, they do not see the familiar sight. Sunny's once noble features of his approximately 6.5, 7 foot tall, is that about right? Anyway, his brass form is gone. Instead, you see a much smaller form with an immaculate beard. As Sunny,
Fucking
you have
finally.
been turned into a mountain dwarf.
A male or female?
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Sunny, as you get up, Byron's conversations have perhaps made you more aware of it. What are these? As you are a female mountain dwarf.
All right. All right. Sunny kind of like lays there for a moment, like eyes open, and like kind of like sits up, and is like, as he sits up, as she sits up, the you know, Sunny would have expected to be able to look out of this like stone, or this earthen basin, and instead is, looking perhaps eye level, like right into the wall. This is odd. This is not what I would have expected. And has several realizations back to back. He's no longer a warforged. That he's much shorter, and also that he's a woman. Although, perhaps this is not perhaps any more of a shock to him than simply not being warforged is. Male or female, he doesn't particularly have any experience being flesh and blood. Needless to say, though, he is quite shocked. And he's going to gotta think what would he do?
Oh my god, your solitaire high scores.
Zeka Sunny stands up and like he's just barely like looking out of the like looking over the top of this basin now. And he'll kind of gracelessly crawl over the crawl over the lid and kind of like flop down onto the ground by the side and kind of stand up groggily.
Ode will run over and be like, who is this? What happened to Sunny? Did it not work? And I'll then kind of like glance down at the dwarf woman and take off her cloak and hand it to the dwarf woman.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, thank you, lassie. Zeka, it worked. I'm back. And Sunny's gonna go scoop Zeka up, who's now the same height, I guess, roughly.
No,
No.
you are so much shorter.
You're
Go
2
and
feet
like hug
shorter.
him.
The only person shorter than you now is Kezia. I think Bailey even is closer to your size.
Kezia, why are you just sitting there? Oh, she fainted.
Wait,
It
that's
worked. This is
That's right.
incredible.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know. what exactly is going on here, but I feel pretty good. Do how do I look?
Out of all
Does
of
he
the
drop
three,
the cloak?
Yeah,
Ass naked, by the way.
This is like the scene in Shrek 2 when Shrek like stands up and his pants fall.
But I have everyone
Handsome son.
for just a moment. If you need a second to think about it, Eric, you're welcome to it. But what does Sunny look like now?
Hmm.
I think now it's SONNY.
We'll swap it afterwards.
I
It's actually daughter E now.
I love
Oh,
the
Sinner is gonna be pissed when he sees you.
dude. I
Oh,
love
man,
it.
we had a cool thing going on.
Oh my god.
This is where Zachary realizes that his only affection for Sunny came from him being Warforged and not his actual personality.
Oh, hi, Sonny.
Oh, hey. Pretty cool. Okay, well, is he hot? We need to establish
Hey,
this.
whoa,
Sunny.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, is
Sonny,
Zeka gonna
whoa,
fall in
whoa.
love with
This
Sunny?
is all a matter of people's personal type. Sonny,
Um,
but if you have eyes, yeah.
so,
hey, Morak? Looking fine.
well, important question. You might have said, do female dwarves have beards in this
Yeah,
canon?
100%.
Okay. So I think it's ooh, that was a stiff pour.
Eric Miko picked out
I
options.
this is exactly what she looks like.
Let me see.
Let's find out.
It's not far off. She's thicker, though. Like,
Sure.
Oh no.
like I'm thinking like auburn hair. Like
Byron's done for.
No, he's under the dwarves.
Wow, just
auburn hair. That's pretty long. How tall is she, David? I feel like that's something that you would.
how Eric, let me be very clear in this. They are a mountain dwarf and have a beard because all dwarves have beards.
Okay.
All else, describe your character.
I gotta pull up
But
a
they're
note sheet because I gotta
stinky
write
too.
this
They're
down.
very stinky.
How tall are dwarves actually? I don't actually know.
We've never played with one.
I know, right? That's why I said fucking finally.
So she has kind of long, very long auburn hair, and a big. Right now, it's a big, bushy beard, maybe like 12 inches long. Obviously, having just been reincarnated, none of this is braided. None of her hair is braided right now. So she's got very long, curly hair, and a big bushy beard. She's a little bit shorter for a dwarf. She's about 3'8", but built like a brick shit house, like stocky, like basically like a cube. Are my
Well,
are
your stats are broadly the same. They might change a little bit, but assumed for the sake of this, they're going to be about what they are.
okay. She's got. Ooh, I don't want to make her too much like Merida. She's got blue eyes.
Biba?
Amewo Viva. Amewo Viva. Blue eyes. She's got a I don't know, like a darker, like stony or like grayish kind of complexion. She's a mountain dwarf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she's got
I sent 3 great options in the chat. Just pick one, dude.
The last one's just Merida.
No,
this
she
is-
has a beard.
I'm enjoying the description.
Yeah, no, kind of more like the skin tone of like the second and third pictures. So yeah, kind of like a more like sallow grayish skin.
So Morank's complexion.
Yeah, more so like that. But like a more pale gray. Like you would see if you saw a human with that color of skin, it would not be like that. Something's really wacky about them. It's like, oh, they're kind of weird and grayish. I don't know. What are their physical attributes?
Is she more muscular or more
Oh,
like?
yeah, she's very muscular.
Okay.
I still have got like hopefully I still have an 18 strength, but she's muscular.
I think you're
built
gonna
like
be
a brick shit
stronger
house.
now, if anything, because mountain doors get +2 to strength.
What else? I don't know. Normally you also describe like what they're wearing and stuff, but she's not wearing anything. Well, she puts on the only clothes that that Sunny had, which are the
Yo, that's
tan
some
poncho and the wide brimmed hat.
I love that.
Wah, wah, wah.
Morak starts going through his clothes and starts handing stuff over to her.
And they're all
she does
way too
leave-
big.
Feet difference in height.
She's
Uh,
naked.
She's wearing a poncho. He's wearing a poncho.
Okay.
Sunny, would you like us to continue using he words for you?
Hold on. I need
I
a.
know that would probably be a big consideration of what you want.
Still got some thinking to do. I need a birthmark generator.
Well,
What?
because you're naked and we can see it.
It's
Yeah.
true.
We've got this
body have
oil
tattoos?
covering. There's oil covering your body. Maybe like not everything is fleshed out.
Oh,
pun
wait,
intended,
Sonny,
right
there is
now.
one other thing.
Mhm.
As you all will remember, years ago at this point, Morak carved in the Tuskbane logo into Sonny's back. You guys see a back tattoo matching that.
Oh yeah.
Tramp
Is
stamp.
it a tattoo or a birthmark?
Which would
I
you
like
prefer?
birthmark.
I think birthmark.
You see a birthmark.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, that's essentially
Hilarious.
what it is. He was just
Was it a
born.
tramp stamp or was it just on my back?
I believe it was specifically made to be a tramp stamp.
Yeah, she's got a Tuskbane.
Well, no, it was that we asked for like a set of armor for him, but it'd be custom made, and then Sonny like took off. I mean, Morak took off Sonny's armor plate and then like re-riveted the new armor onto him, and it was whoever the Ironheart was like made it Tuskbane armor. So I
Well-
don't assume that the blacksmith would have been like, ah, yes, we will put the logo to protect their upper back.
That's the
You know, that
traditional
is-
Turkish location.
That is true. That is
Okay.
true.
I'm just gonna make the hard call that it's a tramp stamp location.
So do we get to be back in character now?
Actually, one other thing. She doesn't have blue eyes. She does have like bright green eyes.
Ooh.
Much like Sunny's green, green friendly eyes. Yeah, and that's built out enough for now. I may.
All right,
come up with
we'll
more things
fill
later.
it in as time goes on.
Sonny! Oh my
That's me.
Sonny?
god! Hey, I made you some bread. Give him the fucking motor oil covered bread, which, to his knowledge, is probably still
Sonny-
okay to eat.
Sunny takes it and like
Barlow, try to stop him. Hurt them.
Sunny takes like a little bite gingerly because they've never eaten anything before, and like, ooh, this is the best thing I've ever tasted.
You shouldn't eat any more of that.
What do you mean? It's the best thing
I'm-
I've ever tasted.
I'm fairly certain motor oil is toxic for us.
This will be an adjustment.
Here, try this, and I'll hand him like a Danish and see how that tastes for him.
It's a
I'm
dwarf
so
lady.
excited. I think Ode also runs over and hugs him, and she says, "Are you breathing okay? Do you have to remember to open and close your eyes."
Oh, there's so many. So many things you got to do constantly. This is
Should
very
come
difficult.
please.
Oh,
Don't concentrate on it.
no.
It'll do it by itself.
wait. I think
Your eyes are getting a bit bloodshot. You need to close them and open them.
something's wrong. Something's. Oh, no. What was that?
Oh, that's some motor oil.
Real gas here. Big Byron.
Oh,
I suppose
Um,
so.
Sonny's gonna, take a brief moment and go over to Ashiera and say, "So, does this mean that I'm not gonna go to the Everrot now when I die?"
Sizes you up. The blight is no longer a part of you. Wherever you go, wherever your
Fan-fucking-tastic.
afterlife is,
Yeah!
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, it's true.
Hell yeah. Sonny,
Woo!
exactly what we talked about. You're all
Well,
good
thank
to go.
Thank Mistara, I didn't come back as an orc. And he looks over to Morak, or she looks over to Morak. I'm just kidding, yeah.
I was so sad. I was hoping for it so bad.
Oh, that would have been so fucking funny.
Morik goes over and gives Sonny a big old greasy hug.
This is unlike anything I've ever felt before.
Sonny,
I'm assuming you haven't felt
there's
much.
plate metal boring into your face right now. You are not used to this.
No, I turn it into something soft.
Oh, peeks
so
in
sweet.
the oil basin. Is there anything in there?
You see Sonny's corpse.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for.
You see the faceplate that kind of made up Sonny's like face, for lack of a better word, and you see it just limply sat there. It looks like it has aged considerably.
Is the rest of his body still
Not
sitting
the rest of him, just the faceplate.
So you won't let us sell his corpse for money?
I just wanted that core.
One
I
part
just wanted the core, okay?
Oh, it grabs his faceplate.
All right.
Weld that onto the illithid helmet thing.
Oh fuck! He just uses heavy armor, and from now on, he has a helmet that has his faceplate as the faceplate of the helmet.
Oh shoot.
That'd be cool as
It's
fuck.
like-
That would be sick.
There's sometimes I give you guys a gift, and thank you, Adam, for running.
That would be pretty sweet.
Now you guys, now you guys have to find him some armor though.
That's true.
Made for a dwarf, and we're in the fucking Gautera.
Yeah.
If only you had a way to get somewhere. Anyway,
I do
Thanks, Bernal.
want to ask a question. Do we still have the plate mail that you used to have, Morak?
the plate mail he used to have was for an orc.
Yeah.
Well,
would be
what I
the
was
thing.
going to say. Oh, so he doesn't have it. He sold it.
What?
Because you have magic armor, and magic armor can fit to any form. So we could give the magic armor to Sonny, and you could go back to your old plate mail. I realized I was making it.
Oh no!
I'm just saying, it's like he's not protected right now. So maybe until we can find something fitted to him. Good.
I'll be all right, laddie. I'm sure I can't experience more pain than I did in the brief moments before I perished and then came back in this body. Turns out, I never experienced pain until that moment. I must have been feeling hunger or something else and mistaken it.
Well, do you want like protection against feeling that pain again? Well, I guess we'll figure it out later. I'm just happy you're alive.
Me too. And freeze frame. Nice.
And with that, I think we call it there.
That was not how I expected today to go.
Yeah,
Hey,
wow.
believe you me neither.